Guten Tag, guten Tag. Geht weiter. Mal gucken, womit es weitergeht. Das letzte, was ich ja gemacht habe, war die eine Route fertig. Das heißt, wir fangen jetzt hier ganz hinten an. Hier. Und zwar gab es ja die Nachricht, ob man aus der Schule rausgehen soll oder nicht. We return to the classroom in a daze. Das Einzige, was hier vorher quasi passiert ist, dass man Eito umgebracht hat. Everyone stood around in silence for some time. Their eyes were cast downward, expressions grave. Finally, Gaku broke the silence. Takomaru, do you still think this is all a prank? But if this... Ah ja, genau, und Sea-Ray wurde zerstört. But if this isn't a prank, then it's just not fair. They didn't even give us a chance to leave. Maybe it means the kill you all part will start as soon as we see the message. Still, it's not right. It's highly probable that Sea-Ray was destroyed before we woke up. Somebody would have noticed otherwise. That means it happened before Gaku found the message. So one of us had to die before we even knew we were being threatened. How utterly unreasonable. In movies, terrorists always set off a small-scale explosion and then claim responsibility, right? Once everyone knows it's not a prank, they announce that they are going to carry out another crime. Darumi had a point. It was possible the culprit did this to Sea-Ray to show they were serious. In that case, we'd be fine, so long as we did what they demanded. Temporarily leaving the school and seeing what happened before returning would be the safest option. But there was no guarantee that the person who wrote the message was the same person who destroyed Sea-Ray. It wasn't out of the question that the message really was just a prank. But even if it was, we'd still have to deal with the threat of whoever destroyed Sea-Ray still being nearby. For now... I need to figure out if we listen to the message or not. Do we leave the school or do we ignore it and stay? It's time for me to decide. No.
Hey guys, listen. We can't listen to the message.
Why? The enemy could attack any day now. We can't just leave this place unprotected. Hey, didn't you come back from the future? That means you should know exactly when the enemy will attack, right? So, when's the next attack? The next one is 3 days from now on day 7. Then what's the big deal with leaving this place empty until then? It's just a matter of going outside the wall of fire and coming back in 3 days, right? We'd be technically complying with what the message says, and the culprit wouldn't see the need to follow through with their threat. The next attack being 3 days away is what I remember from last time, but there's no guarantee the enemy will act the same way this time. Because you may have already changed the course of history by coming back to the past. Is that what you're trying to say? I nodded. There's another thing I have to consider. Can we really trust the culprit to keep their word and leave the academy alone while we're gone? We're talking about someone who did something that vicious to Sea-Ray before we even saw the message. There's no way a person like that ever is going to keep that word. Ergo, this has to be a trap. I got no clue who they could be. Only thing we can figure is that they're an invader trying to nab the baby in the defense room while we're gone. You just said you thought it was a prank. Shut up, things are different now that Sea-Ray's been wrecked. I personally think we should just ignore the message. That'll launch the culprit into slaughter mode, right? Now that's the kind of show I'd pay through the nose to watch. My sad excuse of his existence will surely be the first to be eliminated. Oh, I'm all for the idea, of course. After all, even the tiniest bacteria has more worth than an atomized speck of fractional dust like me. So, if we take a head count, there are 6 of us who want to stay. Takumi, Takamaru, Darumi, Shoma and the Tsukumo twins. If you're going by majority vote, those who want to remain have already won, right? Seriously? Are you all out of your minds? Nobody's stopping you from going out there yourself. Outside the wall of fire. I dare say that's what the culprit really for. Once they manage to isolate someone, the real fun begins. Gaku started shaking like a leaf. Alright, fine, just don't say I didn't warn you. In the end, we decided to ignore the message and remain at the academy. Nobody knew how the culprit would react. Just in case, we decided that everyone would move together as a unit during the day as a safety measure. As we did, the sun soon set and night approached. Ding dong bing bong. I guess the announcements must be pre-recorded, huh? Yes, Siri told me about them earlier. Nothing happened in the end. Whoever wrote that message was just bluffing. Can you make up your mind? Do you want us to take the message seriously or not? Right now, no. The situation's changed. So I'm going back to my room to hit the sack. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Did you just willingly trigger your own death flag? I ain't got time for this. We ain't in some freaking game or movie. But there's no denying that the person who destroyed C-Ray is still around. Yes, hiding somewhere in the school. Or it's also possible they're hiding somewhere among us. Everybody abruptly stopped what they were doing after Hiruko's statement. We all glanced around, scrutinizing each other nervously. I see how it is. Safer for us all to just sleep in our own rooms then? Well, at least that room's locked, so we don't have to worry about anyone killing him while we sleep. Hiruko was only mentioning that as a possibility. I refuse to believe the culprits could be one of us. Let's start suspecting each other. We'd be playing directly into the culprit's hands. Told you they were just bluffing with that message. Whoever's behind it probably gets a kick out of seeing us running around like headless chickens. That's all. Gathered to C-Ray's mangled remains. C-Ray was targeted because he was a machine. Damaging a metal contraption's completely different from killing a flesh and blood person. Are you trying to say the culprit won't harm us because we are human? I'm just guessing, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Anyway, I'm heading back to my room. Yo-ho-ho, let's see what tomorrow morning brings. Takamaru and Darumi left after that, followed by Ima and Kako. As long as we're together, no one can hurt us. They held hands and left the cafeteria together. Good night, everyone. Sorry, my body is so poorly formed it can't fall asleep without a bed. Skill issue. Tsubasa and Shoma both said they didn't think the culprit could be among us, but as I watched them leave, it occurred to me that they probably had their suspicions. Hiruko, Gaku and I were the only ones left in the cafeteria. Huh? This is ridiculous. Why can't everyone see the best way to stay safe is to stick together? Everyone's already gone though, except the 3 of us. If the 2 of you are working together, I'd probably be assaulted tonight. Are you inviting us to... Of course not. Of course I'm not. Get your mind out of the gutter. Right, on the other hand, I'd be the one in hot soup if you 2 are the ones behind this. We are not, but I have no way of proving that. I guess going back to our rooms to rest really is the only thing we can do now. Indeed, casting aspersions at each other here won't help us sleep any better. Fine, I'll go too, but only because there's no other choice. And so we all went back to our rooms to turn in for the night. I tossed and turned restlessly in my bed. My eyes were closed, but sleep kept evading me. Who wrote that message and destroyed C-Ray? Is the culprit really one of us? No, there's no way. That means the culprit's still hiding somewhere in the school. They couldn't have escaped outside the wall of fire after destroying C-Ray and writing that message. Hang on, are we sure the person who wrote the message and the person who destroyed C-Ray are one and the same? We just automatically assumed so, but there's no indication that they are. If it wasn't the same person, then we're actually up against two different people. How did things end up like this? I ruffled my hair violently while curling up in bed. Midnight was just around the corner. Soon it would be day 5. Day 5. It's 12:55 AM. It hasn't even been an hour since the new day began. Bing bong. A visitor at this time. Thinking it might be the culprit, I was unnerved, until I realized this would give me a great chance to capture them. It could very well be someone asking for help too. Whoever it was, I had no reason to ignore them. Let's do this. Gathering my wits, I opened my door cautiously. I looked around before stepping out. There was nobody to be seen anywhere. Was it a prank or hallucination? As I turned around to go back into the room. Ich weiß nicht, warum der Raum verlässt, wenn bei ihm geklingelt wird. A sharp pain exploded at the back of my head, quickly rendering me unconscious. Nice one, Takumi. When I next came to, I realized I was on my bed, even though I had lost consciousness outside my room last night. Was that a dream? Was I just half asleep? I touched the back of my neck as those thoughts ran through my mind. A dull, aching pain greeted me. It wasn't a dream. I stepped outside last night and someone jumped me from above. They'd probably been hiding on the rooftop. They punched or kicked me, I'm not sure which, on the back of my head. But who and why? Was it the person who wrote the message and destroyed C-Ray? In that case, why am I still alive? And they even went out of their way to make a move to move me back to my bed. Just then, the door slammed violently open and Tsubasa ran inside. Takumi, it's Gaku. Gaku's... What happened? Just go to the classroom on the first floor quickly. The same room we found the message in. I'll go let the others know. I ran downstairs so quickly I thought I might trip and fall. Getting to the classroom was the only thing on my mind. Soon the classroom came into view. I dashed inside and what greeted me was... Is das die Killing Game route?
What is this?
I could hear the others entering the classroom behind me.
No! What the hell? Mr. Mariko!
Why? Gaku? Hey, Gaku! Cut it out! This isn't funny at all! Open your eyes, man! Wake up! I said wake up, Gaku!
Darumi kept shaking Gaku's shoulders. He didn't respond. So she started shaking him harder. Hideko slowly put her arms around Darumi and gently pulled her away.
Hey! Why don't we just use the Revivomatic?
Right! If we move Gaku to the infirmary, we can...
It won't work. The Revivomatic can only revive a person who only just died. That's what it says in the manual. Can you define just? It doesn't give a specific number, but definitely not 3 hours.
Woher weißt du,
3
dass
hours?
woher weißt du, dass es 3
You can
Wochen,
tell by the
Dings?
dry and discolored blood. It's been at least 3 hours since he was killed. And besides, look at the amount of blood he's lost. You know how the Revivomatic works. You need to have cryptoglobin in your body.
But we couldn't just give up without doing anything. We moved Gaku's body to the infirmary, put him in a corpse recovery drone, and placed him in the Revivomatic. However... Unfortunately, Kako was right. The Revivomatic's analysis monitor was located at the back of the device. We all looked at the information together. Cause of death, hemorrhagic shock. Estimated time of death, Day 5, between 1 and 4 AM. Multiple stab wounds on chest and abdomen. Murder weapon is likely a sharp blade, about a foot long. Too much time has passed since death. Insufficient crypto goblin present in body. Impossible to revive. Doesn't something seem off to you guys? Why didn't that corpse recovery drone do its job earlier? You're right. If the drone had flown over to collect Gaku's body the moment he died, this wouldn't have happened. Upon hearing that, Tsubasa sprang into action. She went back to the analysis monitor. After fiddling with the terminal for a while, she took several steps back in shock. The drone itself is working correctly, but someone has overwritten the program that controls it. What? The code is too difficult to hack even for me. There's no way we can restore the original programming now. The new settings say that the drone doesn't activate if an SU member dies outside of a defensive battle. You can't be serious. Who would do such a thing? Do you even need to ask? It's obvious, the same person who killed Gaku. Silence filled the air, and nobody spoke for a while. Then Takomaru mumbled something. Shit, this is all my fault. I kept insisting the culprit was bluffing. Gaku wouldn't have died if I'd believed him. I don't know about that. The same thing may have happened even when we had all slept together in the cafeteria last night. Or maybe things would have been worse. What do you mean? I'll explain later. A few hours later, we managed to regain our composure somewhat and started cleaning up the classroom. It just didn't seem right to leave all that blood on the floor. We also made sure to thoroughly check for possible clues that might lead us to the murderer while we cleaned. Ultimately, we came to the realization that the killer had left nothing behind. No footprints, no bodily fluids, not even a single strand of hair. Once we were done, we decided to take care of the message as well. The message that was the cause of everything. The mere sight of it nauseated me. We angrily and vigorously scrubbed the message with solvent until it disappeared, Tsubasa and Shoma crying as they worked. Before we knew it, the sun had already set and we were surrounded by darkness. Then we started on our next task, transporting Gaku's dead body from the infirmary to the morgue. Hey, why were we moving his body here? Shouldn't we be giving him a dignified burial? The corpse is a silent witness who never lies. Burying it would mean losing valuable clues. That reminds me, you mentioned that you were trying to become a detective in my previous timeline. And then Ima said he was your brilliant talented assistant or something. I said that. Yes, now do you believe me I've traveled back in time? I'm not sure. There's not particularly convincing evidence. Am I right to assume you're interested in helping out with the investigation, Kako? Yes. Then share your observations with us, great detective. Who is the most likely suspect in your eyes? Wait, we need to figure things out like this out step by step. She tapped a finger on her temple. First of all, Tsubasa was the first person to find the body, right? Yes, I woke up before the morning announcement, so I went to the classroom on the first floor. I was trying to see if we missed any clues that would have pointed us to the identity of the person who wrote the message. Then I found Gaku on the floor, like that. The question is, why did the killer murder him so brutally? He was stabbed multiple times in the chest and abdomen. If killing him had been the objective, they would have simply aimed directly for the heart. This number of stab wounds usually indicates some sort of powerful personal grudge. It feels more like anger than a grudge to me. The killer is the same person who wrote the message, right? They got angry because they didn't follow the instructions. Or the fellas just trying to make an example out of someone. Thinking they can strike fear in our hearts by killing someone in the most visceral way possible. I think the objective was even simpler than that. Pray tell? To bleed as much Crypto Goblin out as possible so that we couldn't possibly revive Gaku even if we found his body right away. It would mean the killer is very familiar with the Special Defense Unit's members and how our bodies work. In short, there's a very high probability that the killer is one of us. Everyone feels silent at that. But nobody seemed as shaken up as they were yesterday, as if they had already come to this conclusion deep inside. That's why back in the infirmary I said that things would have been worse if you had all slept together in the cafeteria. Because the killer would have assassinated everyone in their sleep? Hallo, danke für deinen Sub, Saskia. Yes, after Yes, after drugging us with the sleep medicine or something. That's unthinkable. It's just not possible. One of us here is the killer? The alarm didn't sound. That means nobody has breached the Academy's defenses. Oh, and before you bring it up, no, Eito couldn't have done it either. Because she walked to one of the dead bodies, stood in front of it, and promptly pulled off the sheet that was covering it.
See? He's not breathing and has no pulse. It's literally impossible for Eito to be the killer. Unless he somehow turned into a zombie.
Wäre nicht das erste Mal. Everyone saw what Gaku's estimated time of death on the Revomedic was? Yes, I think it was between 1 and 4 AM last night. I'm going to have to ask each and every one of you where you were and what you were doing at that time. Everyone said they had been sleeping in their own rooms other than Ima. Ima was... I was sleeping in my dear sister's room. Which means only my dear sister and I have valid alibis. The testimony of a sibling is unreliable. Yes, I was expecting you to say that. Wait, so none of us have proper alibis? How? Of course not. How should they? Hang on, nobody asked Takumi where his has been. Alright, what about you, Takumi? I mean, your answer's probably going to be the same. I hesitated for a moment. Telling the truth would make me seem questionable. But if it ever came to light that I lied this time, I definitely looked suspicious then. So I decided to go ahead and tell everyone what happened to me last night at around 1 AM. Say what? Somebody came out of nowhere and knocked you out? And then you woke up to the sound of the morning announcement in your bed? Yes, more or less. The person who knocked me out had to be the killer. Why only tell us about this now? I couldn't find a good time to bring it up. Really? But so much time has already passed since we found the Gato's body. Everyone looked at me with suspicion in their eyes, causing my heart to beat faster. I'm telling the truth, please believe me. So you say, but the time traveling thing has got to be just a big fat lie. Yes, you killed Eito for some reason and made up the tall tale in order to justify your actions. No. That would exactly explain why Zero was destroyed too. Zero was the only one present when Eito was killed. He was the only one who knew the truth. When Zero tried to blackmail Takumi using that incident, Takumi destroyed him in order to silence him. Why would I do that? And what about the message? I was the first one to propose we stay in the academy. Besides, there's no reason for me to kill Gaku. Absolutely no reason at all. You're coming apart at the seams. Nobody said anything about you killing Mr. Maruko. You were all looking at me as if you thought I was the killer. I spent hours trying to prove my innocence to the others, but there was nothing convincing I could use to clear my name. Takemaru, Darumi, Shoma and the Tsukumo twins were especially unwilling to give me any benefit of the doubt. Well then, Sister Dearest, let us fall asleep under the same roof again tonight. Yes, like I said before, it's more dangerous for everyone to be sleeping together. Sleeping with the person you trust the most is the best way to deal with this. Takemaru, will you please allow this worm to burrow in your room tonight? What are you saying? You're the person I trust the most. Or are you afraid that I may actually be the killer? Don't be stupid, you idiot. I just kill you right back. That means I'm staying in Mr. Shiruko's room tonight. You can kill me anytime you please, my mistress. I'm sorry, but you're on your own. But why? You may end up killing me, for all I know. Besides, I've already been reserved by someone else. Someone else? Hiruko is staying with me tonight. No. The only option left is Takumi. Absolutely not. I'm not gonna throw myself into the arms of a serial killer. I have standards on who gets to kill me, you know? Everyone retired to their chosen rooms after deciding on sleeping arrangements. I trudged my way back to my own room as well. I had just returned to my room when the doorbell rang. Nicht schon wieder. The door swung open and in walked Hiruko Tsubasa. What's the matter? Just so we're clear, this doesn't mean we trust you or anything. What, you came all the way just to tell me that? Let me finish. We don't trust you, but we see no reason to be completely suspicious of you either, unlike the other 5. Okay, that's nice to hear. And if what you've been saying is true, there's going to be an enemy attack in 2 days' time on day 7, right? According to what I've lived through, yes? When that happens, I intend to fight. But it's unlikely the other 5 will be willing to follow you. So you're saying there's a high chance they won't join the fight, even Takomaru and Darumi, who fought on day 1. Tsubasa's trying to say she's willing to lend you a hand. I can't just sit back and let you and Hiruko fight the invaders by yourselves. Besides, it's game over for us anyway if we lose. A combat party of 3 isn't going to be strong enough, which is why I'm thinking of calling in reinforcements. From where? You once mentioned a second to last defense academy that's being protected by 5 special defense unit members, right? Oh, I get it. You want to bring them here. It was inevitable that we would one day have to go to the second to last defense academy anyway. That academy was attacked on day 10 and Moko was killed. I'd been pushing it to the back of my mind because I thought we still had time. Not that we had any spare time to be thinking about going there at all. It did make sense to go over as soon as possible, so I agreed to Hiruko and Tsubasa's plan. Are you both coming with me? Of course. Then we set off at 6 AM tomorrow morning. 6? The campus is quite a distance from here, isn't it? Yeah. We should start early then. We also have to ensure we can make it back before the enemy attacks on day 7. Oder? Ensure before the enemy attack. Ach, before the enemy attack. Als ein. Okay. Ah, that's a good point. That's settled then. We'll be taking our leave now. We'll go tell the others about this. Thank you. They nodded and left the room. There was just one thing bothering me. Was it really a good idea to leave 5 people behind in an academy with a serial killer on the loose? That said, I really did want to reach the second campus before Moko got killed on day 10. Since we needed reinforcements for the next offensive battle, going there tomorrow was indeed the best option we had. It wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense for all of us to go anyway, and leaving just 2 or 3 to protect the school alone wouldn't be any better. In fact, it would be worse, because it just makes them easier targets for the killer. I concluded that the safest thing to do was to go there with Hiruko and Tsubasa. Or you can meet the team from the second academy tomorrow. Yoshika, Moko, Kurara, Yugamu and Nozomi. The possibility of seeing them again did nothing to loosen the tight knot in my stomach. After all, a friend had just been violently murdered today. I couldn't get the sight of Gaku's mangled body out of my mind. At 6 AM, I went straight to the entrance hall, where Hiruko and Tsubasa were already waiting for me. You are 10 seconds late. 10 seconds. A split second of distraction can prove fatal in battle. You will do well to remember that. Yes, ma'am. I mindlessly responded to Hiruko while looking around. I didn't see anyone else. They're not even going to see us off, huh? I mean, they believe you're a serial killer, you know. Nothing I could do about that. How did you break the news to them? I just told them plainly. I said we needed to bring in a second team to increase our combat power. And they didn't criticize you for daring to follow a serial killer there? They sure did, which is why I asked them nicely if they'd rather we left that serial killer behind with them. Suddenly, letting just the 3 of us go became the best thing since sliced bread. Okay. We can chat later. Let's be on our way. Look over there. That looks like a shortcut. Let's go check it out. Na toll. Geradeaus ist schneller. Attack the armor. Stop taking damage. Nein. Stop it. Okay. Battle. Okay. Habe ich überhaupt schon ein Item bekommen? Nee, ne? Dann schon unlucky. Ganz schön starke Gegner.
I'm taking the wheel. Let's roll.
Es macht Sinn, hier Attack zu geben. Och, die kriegen ja Schilde, daran habe ich überhaupt nicht gedacht. Fuck.
I've got this. Take that! Ready when you are. That's it. All right. Say when. Take this. Got it. Here we go. Ah! Say when. Take this. All right.
My turn. Time to move.
Let's go. One
Guess
last
that
try.
works. Please.
I'm good whenever. Out of the way. I'll take that.
Wow. Well, I guess I got one item. Oh, we finally arrived. So this is the place. Second to last defense academy. As we got closer, I saw her. Nozomi. My pulse started racing. My breathing got heavier. I felt an uncontrollable burning in my chest. Nozomi was alive. She was alive again and right here in front of me. Without thinking, I almost reached out to touch her. But I fought that impulse and pulled it back. Huh? Who are you guys? Words simply failed me. While I was still busy being incoherent, Nigo and the others showed up as well. Are you perhaps from Last Defense Academy? How do you know that? Your class armor. There's something you guys needed? Yes, actually. After moving the conversation to the cafeteria and introducing ourselves, we told everyone what had happened at Last Defense Academy. About Eito, the threatening message, serious destruction, all of it. Even about Kaku's murder and me traveling back in time. I also shared everything that had happened in the 100 days I had previously gone through. What greeted me at the end was silence. Nigo had stopped moving and had a dazed, distant look on his eyes. Serious destruction must have been too much for him. None of the others from the second academy had anything to say either. They all stood frozen, mouth agape in astonishment. I see. Thanks for the massive info dump, I guess. I'm still trying to process everything, but I more or less get what you're trying to say. The long and short of the matter is that Last Defense Academy is currently in quite a bit of a pickle. Am I right to say that? Yeah. Then we have to get there right away. Since this place is just a decoy, there's no need for us to protect it anymore. The enemy will be attacking that academy tomorrow, right? Then we must hasten our steps and get there by today. Thank you. We would greatly appreciate the backup. Nigo, is the school bus available? Hey Nigo, can you hear me? Oh, yes, the bus is available. Great, we'll meet in the parking lot after everyone here gets ready. Takumi, Hiruko and Tsubasa, you guys can go there first. It's at... Don't worry, I know where it is. I'm packed and ready to go. Onwards to Last Defense Academy. We all started walking toward the bus, except for Nico, who hadn't moved from his spot at all. As soon as we noticed, we stopped walking. Something wrong, Nico? I cannot go. What? I've been ordered to guard second to Last Defense Academy with my life. Therefore, I'm unable to abandon it. Ordered? By who? Your superior officer? The one who got destroyed? No, this order came from the higher-ups on the artificial satellite. No. Can't you defy them somehow? We all tried to talk Nigo out of staying, but he refused to abandon his post. We have no choice but to leave him behind. But it's already night and we are running out of time. We have to go now. I will be just fine, everybody. You see, there's no commanding officer at Last Defense Academy right now. So if I open a dialogue with the higher-ups about this, they may reassign me there. Fine. Hurry up and do that dialogue thing with your superiors and come over as soon as you can. Understand? We'll be waiting for you over there. Thank you. Be careful. And so, we had to part ways with Nigo. After exchanging firm handshakes, we boarded the school bus. We decided to let Tsubasa drive as she had the most experience with vehicles, and then...
Alright, let's go.
She floored the accelerator and the bus peeled off. We made our way toward our base, Last Defense Academy. A short while after setting off, I started a conversation with the 5 members of the second academy.
First of all, I'm grateful that you decided to come with us. Am I also right to assume that you believed what I said?
What you said?
About coming back from the future?
It's too much of a coincidence to be made up.
What is more, you possess knowledge about us that we have revealed to none but ourselves.
We believe you only because it makes sense to, not because we want to.
I believe you, Takumi.
Thank you, everyone. You have no idea how glad this makes me. Because nobody in the other academy believes me at all.
Including those two over there?
The 5 of them turned to stare at Hiroko and Tsubasa.
You don't believe him? Can you not see the pureness in his eyes? His very soul itself?
They kept looking at Hiroko and Tsubasa in plain and undisguised disgust. The two eventually caved under the weight of their collective stares.
Fine. I believe him.
What, you do? I guess I should do that.
I mean, Hiroko jumpt doch auch. Die weiß doch auch. Seriously, that's all it took? I held back from speaking my thoughts out loud. Their reasoning didn't matter as long as they believed me. With this, there were now more people who believed me than those who didn't. It made me feel more at ease after going through these horrible things yesterday. As the bus kept rumbling on, the pleasant swaying sensation made me so drowsy I almost fell asleep. Eventually, the sight of the wall of fire slowly came into view through the windshield of the bus. Oh, Mrs. Hiroko, I'm so glad you're safe and sound. I was so sure the serial killer would be coming back by himself. Thank goodness you're both okay.
Hey!
What about me? By the way, are those guys with you? Nameless NPCs? Hello there, my name is Nozomi Kirifuji.
No!
I'm Moko Mojiro, the apocalyptic maiden of destruction. Yoshika Magadori, at your service. Bow your heads, peasants. I'm Kurara Osuzuki, the great and powerful. And I'm Yugamo Omokage, teenage assassin, hopeless romantic, and all-around nice guy. They're neither nameless nor NPCs. They're totally trying to assert themselves as main characters. We should introduce ourselves too. That's alright, we've already heard all about you on the bus. Well, that saves us a lot of time. What are you waiting for then? It's time to play some games where losers get to have their nails ripped off for shits and giggles. Wow, that sounds like my kind of fun. I'm not playing. We have a battle coming up tomorrow. Now that the introductions are over, we should rest up until then. So you guys really gonna fight together with us? You know it. It is the very reason we have come here. But why would you help us? Why do you even need to ask? It's because we all have the same ultimate goal in mind. Ultimate goal? From here on, we just protect the baby in the defense room until day 100, right? Then the missiles he's been charging up will be launched in all directions. All the invaders will be wiped out, and that'll be the end of the world death. But right before, we shoot off into escape pod to join back with the rest of humanity on the artificial satellite. Or so we have heard from Sir Takumi. I see no reason to say no. We make it through these 100 days and everyone's stories end happily. We're with you all the way. The palpable excitement of the 5 members from the second academy stood in stark contrast to the silent moods of those from this academy. What's the matter? They're just feeling awkward because they have no intention of joining us for tomorrow's defense battle. Whereas you guys will be sent into the battlefield as the substitutes, even though you are new here. Wait, you aren't joining the fight? I already explained on the way here. They do not trust Takumi's leadership. Oh, that whole time traveling thing? That's just part of it. Gaku's murder played a bigger part. Right now, they all think Takumi did it. Excuse me? So Takumi is a killer? I mean, kinda. Kinda killed Eito. No, of course not. I didn't do it. Sir Takumi has spoken. What is your response? We already discussed this thing to death. But there's no proof yet. Proof of what? Proof of Takumi's innocence. Apprehending the real perpetrator is the best way to settle this. I'll believe you if you can do that. We went back to our room soon after our meeting to rest and recharge for tomorrow's defensive battle. As I flopped down onto bed, I found myself whispering under my breath. The real perpetrator. That's right, I have to find and catch the real culprit. That was the only way I could regain the trust of those 5 and convince them to help with the battles again. It was also the quickest way. Ima was absolutely right. And there was another good reason. I wanted to avenge Gaku. He'd never be able to rest in peace if I let the perpetrator get away. But how would I figure out who the real culprit was? And unlike Kako, I didn't have a detective bone in my body. I had a lot to think about. However, the trip to and from second to last defense academy had depleted all my energy. I was swallowed by the darkness of sleep before I could even think about my options. Tag 7. Okay, so Takemaru, Darumi, Shoma, Kako and Ima aren't even going to see us off. They won't be joining the battle. Why would they show up? I don't know. They can at least cheer for us, right? Get them, guys. Go fight and risk your lives for us because you don't want to. That doesn't sound like a very morale-boosting cheer at all. Anyway, when is the enemy gonna be showing up? Anytime now. Remember what I told you in the bus yesterday about the commander's special traits? Yes, Sir Takumi. I have it all memorized. The alarm sounded immediately after he said that. They're here. Take the lead, Takumi. What? You are a leader, aren't you? Don't you have anything to say to your team before they head out into battle? Right. Is everyone ready? Ready when you are. The Holy Jumanji Sword is always ready. She ravenously longs to spill blood of the wicked. I'm ready. I took a whole bunch of anti-nausea pills, so I made this using my own special formula. Efficacy guaranteed. Loosen up, Tsubasa. You'll be fine. You've got the apocalyptic Mane of Destruction looking out for you now. Thanks, I trust you. Let's all work together out there. Humanity's counting on us. This isn't just for them, but ourselves too. We fight for the future, our future. Let's go. Kann ich den Fight jetzt skippen? Oder ist das ein neuer? Eine Seite nur. Okay, man kann die skippen. I'll take it. Die dauern nämlich immer richtig lange, die Fights.
Now we shall deal with the commander.
You mean that person over there? Wait.
Ah, genau. In den anderen Routes hat man gar nicht mitbekommen, wer das ist. On the edge of the battlefield, watching us fight, was a figure I didn't recognize.
Is that the commander you guys fought before?
No. That wasn't the one.
Hiduko was right. I never saw that person during the whole of my previous 100 days. I had no idea who they were, but they were not the commander I'd fought before, that's for sure.
Hey, look! There's someone else over there!
Is that the one then? Yes, it is.
That's the commander we faced our first day here. God of the planet, hear my plea and lend me thy strength. Blood of my bond release!
Das ist jetzt die gleiche Cutscene wie der andere, ne? Nur, dass der ein bisschen andere Farbe hat. Ja, der ist rot anstatt gelb.
Done running away. I have to stand and fight. All of you stand aside. If you don't, then in the name of order, I will strike you down. I will run.
How is it I can understand him?
Little Black Riding Hood over there hasn't done anything, though. Little Black Riding Hood? See that black hood they're wearing? Name fits to a T.
Who is that? Why is someone I've never seen before showing up all of a sudden? Did the timeline change?
Hey, Takumi! Stop staring off into space like some plebeian and start acting like a leader, why don't you?
Yes. Right. Everyone, concentrate your attacks on the giant commander over there first.
Little Black Riding Hood can wait.
Understood.
Easy clap. Cutscene uns kaum zu skippen, weil das so lang, die geht so lang, wie das Skippen dauert.
What about Little Black Riding Hood?
I looked around. The mysterious figure had disappeared at some point during the battle.
Who the heck was that anyway?
Mayhaps a passerby who was on their way to the convenience store?
How does a random passerby simply walk onto a highly secured compound like this?
Well, on the way to the convenience store at that.
More importantly, what should we do about the commander? He's not dead yet.
Tsubasa pointed to where Morvrum lay on the ground, heavily injured but still breathing.
I think he's trying to say something.
Let me see.
Yugamu knelt over the fallen commander. After a quick but surprisingly thorough examination, he spoke up again.
His vocal cords have been crushed. Someone must have hit him right in the throat.
So, he won't be able to talk then.
That's right.
Even if he could, it's not like we can understand their language.
That's not true. When he first showed up, he told us his name and stuff. Remember?
I am Mervum, the paragon of order. In the name of order, I will strike you down. That was what I heard.
He was the one who got struck down in the end.
So, back to the topic at hand. What should we do with him?
Why are we even discussing this? We kill him and take his cryptoglobin.
Huh?
To survive to day 100, we must fight and win every single battle that is to come. And for that to happen, we must keep getting stronger.
I am of the same mind.
Take him out, Takumi. Make it quick.
They were all waiting for me to make the call. I hardened my resolve and nodded slowly.
I guess I've got no choice.
Grip in pieces, bro.
This is it. You're finished.
At night, the 8 of us who had fought in the defensive battle held a small victory party in the cafeteria. We discussed who deserved to be crowned MVP and who had the coolest looking finishing moves. Everyone talked and laughed pleasantly as we reviewed the battle together. Even though a fellow comrade had been killed just 2 days ago, the adrenaline rush of victory had us in high spirits. And then they showed up. They. The 5 members who hadn't taken part in the battle. Hunger pangs got the better of your suspicions. Sorry, but we're not in the business of feeding losers here. None of you did anything to contribute to this victory. Come on, don't be like that. It's just food, what's the big deal? We ain't here to poach your food. Then what are you here for? Just thought it wouldn't be right to not even say thanks, you know? Thanks for what? Thank you for saving the academy and us. Yes, thank you. From the bottom of my worthless heart, thank you. There's no need to be so formal. I'd rather hear you say you'll help us out in the next battle. Those are 2 different things. We still think Sumino stings to high heaven. We ain't gonna lift a finger to help until he can prove his innocence. Wie soll man das denn machen, bro? Prove, dass ich guilty bin, bro. You have to show us concrete proof that he wasn't the killer. The stance hasn't changed since last night then. I mean, wenn ein anderer noch umgebracht wird, während er irgendwie überwacht wird, weißt du? Basically, he wants to find the real murderer. Yes, that is, if you can find one. Since Takumi may very well be the culprit. The party ended soon after and we all went back to our rooms. When I did the same, I found someone waiting for me there. Hello, it's been a while. You? Why? No, wait, I get it. You have clues to the identity of the real perpetrator who killed Gaku 2 days ago. And you're here to share them with me, right? Sadly, that's not what I'm here for. I'm aware that one of your friends, Gaku Maruko, was killed by someone. However, I wasn't there when it happened, so I didn't witness the crime. I'm far from omnipresent. While I'm able to move instantly to any location I have in mind, I don't have full knowledge of everything that goes on in this academy. That's too bad. What are you actually here for then? To inform you of something. I'll keep it short. I am not feeling very well right now. Not feeling well? In what sense? Right, you can't tell because I'm in this form. Basically, I'm sick. How did that happen? There is a particular space known as blood space in this world. It is a distinct space filled with crypto-goblin energy. However, a malicious aura from the future has been seeping into a certain part of that space. My true form, the baby, is being badly affected by that aura. You are aware the baby's body is also filled with crypto-goblin energy, yes? That is why the malicious aura is also encroaching on the baby's body. I'm sorry, what exactly are you trying to say? To put it simply, the source of evil intent from this timeline is invading the baby's body. Oh, that leaves me more confused than ever. Then what should I do? What can I do to help? Can I bring the baby some medicine? Wait, if a malicious aura is causing this, I should be bringing an exorcist, right? The only cure is to solve the case in the future that's causing this. The case in the future? Not what happened to Gaku 2 days ago. I did mention the malicious aura is coming from the future, didn't I? Solving the case that produces that aura is the cure to this disease. When all is settled, the baby's body should make a full recovery? Yes. This also means I won't be able to show myself to you for a while. That's what I wanted to tell you today. So I won't be able to talk to you for a while. Please, don't look so sad. This isn't goodbye forever. It's just... You must solve this future case yourself, Takumi. Then we will be able to see each other again. I'm counting on you. With that, the ghost boy disappeared from sight. A future case? What case though? Wait, does that mean there's going to be another murder? No, he didn't mention anything about the case being a murder case. I prayed that it would be about something completely different. I never wanted to see something like that again. Tag 8. Days of accumulated stress and fatigue finally got to me and I ended up sleeping through the morning like a log. When I finally woke up, it was afternoon. In fact, the sun was already sinking into the horizon toward the west. It was the exact moment the shrill sounds of sirens blasted around me. That sound immediately dispelled the heavy fog clouding my brain.
Intruder.
What? Why now? The enemy just came yesterday. Are they attacking us 2 days in a row? And it's only day 8. The next battle should have been on day 17. The timeline was changing. For some reason, it was starting to spiral completely out of control. I'd better get over to the war room. Ups, das habe ich nicht gelesen. I rushed frantically out of my room. Oh, Takumi. Now you show up. Everyone else is already here. Sorry, I came as quickly as I could. Everyone as in everyone who took part in the battle yesterday, in case you misunderstood. The frightened 5 won't be showing up today either, I assume. Are you still harping on that? We must go out and meet the enemy forces immediately, Sir Takumi. Yes, of course. Let's do this. Initiate defensive battle. Ja, der Split-Boss, ja. Skipper, Skipper.
Time is money, and they've certainly wasted a lot of mine.
I can already feel the nice worm shower waiting for me.
Careful. The battle isn't over yet. Look over there.
You filthy little creatures are an affront to God and his teachings. Clearly, I must eliminate you before this infection spreads.
Oh, da ist der Dingens wieder. Ist das einfach nur der Big Big Bursche am Ende, der? Der ist ja anscheinend einfach durchs Feuer gelaufen.
Is that Little Black Riding Hood?
Was the convenience store closed?
Went there yesterday, found it closed, and they're now on their way back. Is that the story you've written for them? How far is this store?
Ignore Little Black Riding Hood and focus on dealing with Pakron first.
Got it.
Well, that was surprisingly easy.
The holy Jumanji sword has not had her fill.
Holy Jumanji?
The holy Jumanji sword!
We still have to deal with them.
Nozomi pointed to where the figure we dubbed Little Black Riding Hood stood. They began walking toward us with slow deliberation. Then they pulled their hood, revealing
The Supreme Commander. It was her all along.
Who?
The one who's leading the invader army, remember? I told you guys about her before.
and that the Supreme Commander brought her hand up to her mask.
Among my people, I am known as Veshness, the paragon of hope. You're vexed about your looks, therefore the mask?
No, I am not.
But you're so much uglier than I am!
Not the best line to spout in this day and age.
More importantly,
How is it you can understand us?
Ah, I see. So you know nothing either. To think I came all this way to scope out the reason behind the change.
What change?
The change that took place several days ago. All of a sudden, my soldiers started gaining immense power. At the same time, we became capable of understanding your language.
we looked at each other in confusion. Kyoshika was the one who spoke
Her
up.
words confound me, but she would be the chief villain, yes? Should we be able to defeat her, will this war not end immediately? Well then...
That's right. We can end this right here and now.
Such interesting creatures. I had intended to stick to the appointed days and let you entertain me. And well, I suppose picking off 2 or 3 right now matters not in the grand scheme of things.
Is that a challenge? If so, you're on!
Veshness slowly started walking toward us, getting closer and closer with each ambling step. But before I could do anything,
Hold your horses!
Takemaru! Why are you?
I was watching y'all fight from the rooftop. That ignited a spark in me. And before I knew it, I was here.
Without waiting for a reply, Takemoto turned to face Vashnis.
Hey! You said your name was Veshnes or something? Ain't fair for us all to gang up on you. So how about a one-on-one with me?
Takamaru, that's not a good idea!
Shut up, marshmallow face!
Marshmallow?
If you insist, you shall be given an express ticket to the River Styx, where I suppose you could apply to serve as a boat rower.
Save that ticket for yourself, bitch! I hope you packed your bikini. Oh wait, it just fall right off your flat chest, huh? It's you or me, Veshnes!
Takemoto hurtled towards Vashnis on his bike, but the very next moment, Vashnis unleashed a powerful sidekick that sent him flying. She immediately leapt into the air, switched her sword to her other hand and angled it at the fallen Takemoto as she dropped down. Then, when I next opened my eyes, what I saw was the sky. What I felt was a searing pain across my back. I heard the gurgling sound of Crypto Goblin gushing out of my body from the wound.
Takumi? Why did you...
Oh, now I remember. My body had moved before my brain did, and it made its way to where Vashnis would have landed. I'd thrown myself over Takemoto to shield him from the blade she had pointed at him.
Self-sacrificing acts are such mood dampeners.
You motherfucker!
That strike just confirmed my suspicions. Watching paint dry is going to be more fun than fighting you in your current state. Like kicking a helpless puppy. What is the point of that? I shall grant you the gift of time. Use it well, and gain more power. Perhaps you shall be able to provide more entertainment the next time we meet. Until then... one more thing. I will be taking Pakron's body back with me, lest you desecrate it like you did with Mervrum's corpse the other day.
Desecrate?
You absorbed his cryptoglobin. That is an insult of the highest order amongst our people. Never will I allow it to happen again. Farewell.
Sound of Vashnis' footsteps faded away and I heard heavy stomping getting closer as the others ran over to me.
Takumi! Sir Takumi! Are you okay? Stay with us.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll be fine.
Takumi?
Takumi!
Und wie viele Tage skippen wir? Oh, nice. 21. Das ist gut, das ist gut. When I next came to... Warum ist er immer so lange K.O., wenn er stirbt? When I next came to, Nozomi was right in front of me. It was pitch black, and she didn't seem to notice I was awake.
Nozomi.
I called out to her softly in response. In response, she... I leapt to her feet with an ear-piercing scream. She scuttled frantically around the room a few times before finally coming to a stop, and then she just stood there in a daze. I watched the entire scene play out before sitting up. Are you sure you should be doing that? What do you mean? Your injuries were so severe, you've been out for... Ach, der ist nicht gestorben. You've been out for 13 days. That means today is... It's day 21. 21? What time is it? Almost time for the nighttime announcer to play, I think. What a horrible time to wake up. I doubt I can fall back asleep now. That's what you're worried about? What are you doing here anyway? Nursing you back to health. For 13 days. No, we've been taking turns. It just happened to be my turn today. I see, sorry for the trouble. It's no trouble at all. Wait, I need to go tell everyone you're awake. She dashed out of the room immediately after that. She going to call everyone here? This room is not nearly big enough for that. I decided to get up and go meet the others instead. A short while later, everyone else came running over frantically. Not everyone. Only Takemaru and the 8 who had joined the battle on day 8. Takumi! So Takumi! How are you feeling? At Tsubasa's question, Yogamu marched closer and started poking and prodding at various parts of my body. Eventually, he's good, all is well. Yo, Takumi's back in business. You deserve a title belt for this. Nice going, what a relief. Everyone started loudly expressing how happy they were to see me awake. We were seriously considering killing you if you didn't wake up for another 3 days. What? The Revive-O-Medic could have brought you back to life in full health. But none of us wanted to be the one to do the deed. And that's why we waited to see if you would recall by yourself. Okay, I'm glad that it worked out. My lips turned upward into a smile. Where's everyone else? I told them you'd woken up, but they didn't want to come with it. Have those people no heart? Mayhaps they are still of the opinion that Sir Takumi is a killer? Nobody else got killed after that one incident, right? It has to be because the real culprits already found a way outside the wall of fire. That's one possibility, however, this fact also adds to the case against him. Nobody got killed when Takumi was unconscious, therefore Takumi is the killer. That's very likely what the others are thinking. I can't believe this. I shook my head helplessly. It didn't matter. I decided to just put them out of their mind for now. The more important thing is, what happened to the 13 days what happened in the 13 days I was out? Were there any enemy attacks? Only one on day 15. The 8 of us fought them off. Rashness showed up in that battle as well. But we blew her to Kingdom Come with the undying flame bomb crafted by Lady Tsubasa. Whoa, that's incredible. Beating Rashness with just the 8 of you. Everyone had a proud smile on their face. Wait, that means Takemaru fought too? You even need to ask? You really thought I'd just fold my hands and stay on the sidelines after what you did? So, you're no longer suspicious of me? For now, I believe you. Sorry about before, by the way. And thanks for doing that for me on day 8. You seriously saved my life. It's fine. Also, we need to tell you about Nigo. Huh? What happened to him? It's most unfortunate. Nigo, he's gone. What? Why? We got worried, so we went to second to last defense academy to check on him. But the school had been completely destroyed, and Nigo's remains were lying in the debris. We recovered a memory chip with an event log that Tsubasa decrypted for us. Turns out Nigo self-destructed. Self-destructed? He did it to create a massive explosion and kill the invaders during the attack. Oh no. I have a suspicion. The loss of C-Ray, his superior officer, may have played a part in that decision as well. Nigo was really attached to that C-Ray guy after all. It may have been his plan all along to remain behind and follow him in death. Nigo was such a nice guy, his loss will be greatly felt. A heavy, suffocating silence filled the air, though it didn't last long. It was broken by the sound of the usual nighttime announcement. Ding dong bing bong. And then a few seconds later. Dang, die Route hat ja nur Falten. I literally just woke up from a coma. They sure know how to pick their timing. That is exactly why you will be sitting this one out. I can't just... Stuff it. We'll just be fighting hard enough to make up for ya. Stay snug in bed. Convalescent. Now I'm fighting too. Why are you being so stubborn? Because I'm the leader of the special defense unit. Come on, to the war room. Because there's a protagonist. I immediately started running. Wait, Takumi, oh for goodness sake. Everyone here? Then let's do this. Special defense unit, move out. Skipper, Skipper.
Has your lust for blood and battle been satisfied, my holy Jumanji sword?
No! I need a lot more than this! Give me more blood! More!
Huh, I didn't know the holy Jumanji sword talked like that.
I'm more concerned about where the commander is!
They couldn't have only sent those minions. The commander must be lurking somewhere.
Oh my! What is all the smoke?
Smoke? Or maybe poison gas?
It's just mist, guys. M-I-S-T.
Fine water droplets floating in the air that's harmless to the human body. Wait, I remember this mist. The person hiding behind it should be...
Yay! The mist is gone! I can see everything clearly now.
Look over there!
Is that...
Yes! That's the commander for this battle!
Here we go.
Whew! Victory is ours this time.
That was a tricky enemy.
What are we gonna do with her?
Everyone turned to look at the commander.
Please, don't kill me. My name is Ava, the paragon of nature.
Ava?
I didn't know why, but I felt like I heard that name. What? I didn't know why, but I felt like I had heard that name before.
Please, spare me, for the love of God.
Eva brought her hands up to her mask. In a swift, smooth movement took it off.
The same as Veshnas.
She looks just like a human.
No need to pay her appearance any mind.
What? Why?
Because she is to be executed.
No. Spare me. Please. Please don't kill me. I'll be useful. I can give you lots of intel. I'll give you anything. Just please, spare me.
So the lady insists. Any thoughts?
A dramatic bluff if I have ever seen one. Any intel she provides is bound to be full of fabrications.
No, I would never. I only speak the truth. I think we should kill her too. Why? Surely you understand why we would hesitate to trust the words of the enemy.
You'll say something sweet to suck up to us, and then turn around and betray us the first chance you get.
You're all being so awful. Why won't anyone believe me?
Eva kept pleading with us, her face filled with a woeful expression. Hidoko glanced at her scornfully before speaking up again.
Takumi, you're the leader, so you decide.
Everyone turned to look at me, waiting for my reply. At that moment, I could suddenly feel extra eyes on me. I traced the source of the sensation to the rooftop, where I could see the 4 other members, Darumi, Shoma, Ima and Kako. Killing Eva now would make them even more wary of me. After all, the suspicions were rooted in the fact that I had killed Eito. If I did the same thing now, that would undoubtedly cement the image of me as a heartless killer in their minds. I wanted to avoid giving them that impression. No, to be honest, even if those 4 hadn't been watching.
Please, I beg of you. Don't kill me. Don't kill me.
I could never kill someone so earnestly pleading for their life. Just wasn't right. I felt ashamed of even allowing myself to consider deciding the fate of another person through calculating what would benefit me the most. So I looked into the eyes of everyone present and said,
Let Ava live. We'll imprison her here and interrogate her later.
You gotta be shitting me.
You truly believe that to be the best path?
Yes,
I think you will regret this.
I won't. Because I'll hold myself fully responsible for making it work.
Very well. Our leader has spoken.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Leader, your name is Takumi, if I remember correctly. I can't thank you enough for this. From the bottom of my heart.
Io was choking on her words and bawling her eyes out. The next instant, an intense pain threaded through my back. Forcing myself to join the battle when I hadn't fully healed had reopened the wound. A sharp pain shot up my spine. Nice one, bro. I crumpled to the ground, unable to exert any strength at all. A hazy veil hung over my mind, blocking me from making out what the others around me were saying. I slowly slipped into a sweet, silent serenity. Oh, das waren aber nur 3 Tage diesmal. Ding dong bing bong. I woke up to the familiar sight of Nozomi sitting right in front of me. This time, she noticed right away that I was awake and... Dar! Leapt to her feet with an ear-piercing scream. She scuttled frantically around the room even longer than last time before finally coming to a stop, and then she just stood there in a daze. I watched the entire scene play out before sitting up. Why are you so surprised? Didn't this exact thing happened before happening? But you were out 13 days the last time. It's only been a little more than 2 days this time. Can you blame me? That means today is day 24. What time? Well, I guess I didn't need to ask. The warning announcement just played. Nozomi nodded. Are you feeling better? I'm fine. Stop putting on an act, okay? Remember what happened during the last offensive battle? I do. As long as I don't force myself to fight like that day, I'll be fine. See? Really? Yeah. Despite my confident reply, Nozomi still seemed unconvinced. By the way, what happened to Eva after I passed out? Well, she refused to tell us anything. What? But she promised to give us intel if we spared her life. We reminded her about the promise as well, but then she said, I'm not going to tell you anything because the offer to share intel was made to Takumi, the team leader, not you. And that's why she refused to say anything until you can go and talk to her, I guess. Damn it, what's she trying to pull? Nozomi and I headed to the cafeteria together, where the other 7 who had fought in the battle 3 days ago were gathered. When they saw me, there was a lot of shouting, squealing, cheering and happy noises as they congratulated me on my recovery, although it felt a little more subdued than the reaction 3 days ago. Then again, I did wake up from a 13-day coma that time. Still, the celebration went on for quite a while. I ate my first meal, liquids only for now, in a long time, while being surrounded by their warm and welcoming voices. Went back to my room for a break. Now then, there was really no question on what I was going to do next. I have to find out who Gaku's real killer is. I didn't believe the real killer was one of us. That meant I had to find a way to prove that the killer was someone from outside the school. In any case, if I could prove my innocence, I could regain the trust of the 4 holdouts. Then they would join the future battles. Guess I should start investigating. I decided it was time to pay everyone a visit and ask questions. Tsubasa, I get, but what are you doing here, Takamaru? Because she said she's found something cool, duh. What is it? There was a box of junk inside this garage. I rummaged through it and found this. What's that? It's a voice changer. See that patch thing on the tip of the cable? Stick it to your throat and you can use it to freely change your voice to anything you like. You can make it go higher, lower, or smooth as butter. Also, you have a sample voice recording. What? If you have a sample voice recording that's long enough, you can make yourself talk with that voice too. Isn't it cool? Sure, but what is it even doing here? Oh, I wouldn't know. Maybe whoever used this place last left it behind. Who would that be? How the heck would I know? What are you doing here, Takumi? Oh, right. I told them I was there. Investigating Gaku's murder, huh? I think you're looking in the wrong place. We don't have anything new to share. We were all fast asleep in our rooms when he died. We couldn't have possibly seen or heard anything or anyone suspicious. Any personal guesses? Like, do you know if anyone had a grudge against Gaku? They turned and looked at each other. Takumi, are you thinking one of us is the killer? No, that's not it. I already told you, the culprit is an outsider who's already escaped outside the wall of fire after killing Gaku. Yeah, that's what I think too. I don't wanna be suspicious of anyone anymore. I ain't gonna make that mistake again. He was probably referring to the time when he suspected I was the killer. Okay, thanks for sharing your thoughts with me. After saying that, I turned to leave. Kurara and Kyoshika, what are you two doing here? So, this is where this Gaku person was killed? It was weighing on our minds, and so we came. Everyone here is such a dimwit that it's highly likely they missed a vital piece of evidence or two. Oh, so you're here for the same reason I am. Are you investigating the case as well, Sir Takumi? Yeah, do you want to help me out since you're already here? I want to re-examine the scene of the crime. We searched the room together, but found nothing of note. Did you investigate this place immediately after the murder took place? Yes, before we cleaned Gaku's blood off the floor. But we didn't find any clues that would bring us closer to the identity of the killer then either. How about the murder weapon? Despite our best efforts, we haven't found it yet. It's not in this classroom or anywhere else on school grounds. What about the threatening note scribbled on the digital blackboard? Was it erased? Yeah, it was making us uneasy, so... That was a stupid thing to do. We could have used the handwriting to pinpoint the killer. They weren't wrong. By the way, there's something I need to ask you. I asked them what they were doing between the night of day 4 and morning of day 5. Wait, are you suspicious of us? Not really, it's just... I was sleeping in my room at second to last Defense Academy, of course. As was I, in my own room, that is. I cannot believe you're on your list of suspects. Look at me. I am the very epitome of innocence. Hey, what's wrong? What's with that look? I mean, have you seen yourself? More like the epitome of I've got something to hide. Alter. You're talking about my mask, right? Are you telling me to take it off? No, absolutely not. This mask stays on. This mask stays on during. No matter what anybody... Right before she finished her sentence. Kyoshika snatched her mask away, revealing Kurara's face. She held the mask up high before throwing it onto the ceiling catwalk. My mask is gone. My mask. Where did you hide it? Kurara kept looking around in a panic. It didn't seem like she noticed Kyoshika had thrown the mask away. That didn't really matter. What did matter was her exposed face. It's Kurara. What? Oh no, I was just thinking how you looked the same in the other timeline too. Why would I look different? This is the face I was born with. I know what you're trying to say. This face is too cute to be natural, right? But I swear I never did anything to it. Who cares about that? Where's my mask? I feel naked without it. Don't look at me. I believe I just saw Sir Takuma... What? I believe I just saw Sir Takumaru taking your mask somewhere. That bonehead, give my mask back to me, Takumaru. She dashed out of the classroom, shrieking away. Ist der Wurm drin heute? My, her actions are as adorable as her looks. You ought to let her run around like that for a while. Kushika disappeared after saying that. Now alone in the classroom, I doubted I learned anything new by sticking around. I guess I should go too. Takumi, you've regained consciousness. Yeah, so battling you was what caused me to faint in the first place. Sorry about that. You actually apologizing to me? Why wouldn't I? You saved my life. I heard you were really standoffish to the others. That wasn't my intention. I merely said I wouldn't be sharing any information if Takumi wasn't here. It was pointless asking Eva for information about Gaku's murder case, so I asked her for information about the enemy instead. I'm here now. Tell me everything useful you know. Useful. Yeah, like the enemy HQ's location, invader types, number of troops, your war strategy. At that, Eva's face suddenly clouded over. I'm sorry, I'm feeling a little unwell. Feigning illness now? Give me a break. I'm not feigning, it's true. It wasn't what you promised. I came here alone, like you asked, okay? Alone? Does it look like there's anyone else with me? No, that's not what I was wondering about. It's just... I never asked you to come alone. What I said was that I would talk once Takumi was here. What do you mean? Whatever it is, I do not think I'm able to talk. What? Whatever it is, I do not think I'm able to talk. Please leave me for now. It was clearly feigning illness, but there was nothing I could do to make her talk. Her prison cell was locked. I won't be able to go inside without a key, and it's not like I can force her to spit out the information I wanted, even if I could.
Hey!
This is ridiculous. I cursed and kicked a pebble as I left the courtyard. Hiduko and Yogamu, what are you guys doing here? Nothing questionable. I just always feel calmer next to dead bodies. That is extremely questionable if you ask me. I do not know why, but I just found myself wanting to come here. Do normal people find themselves wanting to come to a morgue? It's a lot less questionable than coming to the morgue to feel calmer next to dead bodies. Even I can agree with that. Yugami put his hand over his mouth and giggled. What about you? I told them I was investigating Gaku's murder case. I see, so you're here to re-examine the corpse. I doubt there's anything new to discover. Yeah, but it wouldn't hurt. With that, I started investigating Gaku's dead body again. I didn't make any new discoveries, just like Hiruko said. What was the cause of death? Hemorrhagic shock. How about the murder weapon? A foot-long blade. The shape of the wound seemed to indicate a kitchen knife of sorts. Have you found the knife? Not yet. Wait a minute, why is Yugamu suddenly acting all detective-like? I'm just curious, don't mind me. Let me see, you already told us the estimated time of death when we were at second to last defense academy. Yes, between 1 and 4 AM on day 5. Before you ask, I was sleeping in my room at that time. What about you, Yugamu? What? What were you doing between the night of day 4 and the morning of day 5? Is that relevant to the case? I'm just trying to cover all the bases, please. Needless to say, I was in my room at second to last defense academy during that period of time. Or perhaps I should say, I was in dreamland, for I was sleeping like the dead. Ah, right. Why do you ask? Because... Are you hesitating to say it out loud? Then I will do so on your behalf, because you are an assassin, Yugamu. Ah yes, that is certainly a reason to be suspicious. However, I am much chagrined. I do not revel in meaningless murder. Indiscriminate killing goes against my personal code. There's always the possibility that Gaku was someone special to you. Impossible. I've never met this Gaku when he was alive. Of course, I have no evidence to back their statement up. All I can do is plead for you to believe my words. I trust you. I didn't hesitate to answer because I had seen Yugamu and Gaku's relationship in the previous timeline. There was just no way they had met each other before this. His statement about not killing meaninglessly was quite possibly true as well. In the previous timeline, Yugamu never killed any of his allies and never showed any indication that he wanted to. Your trust in me is heartening. He smiled a little as he said that. Well, I guess I'm done here then. Thanks for listening to me. After thanking them, I turned around and left. Hey guys, what are you doing here? Listening to the calming sound of running water and trying to make ourselves as comfortable as possible. Comfortable, huh? What about you? Oh, actually, I told them I was investigating Gaku's murder case. Well, that's got nothing to do with us then, right? That Maruko kid was killed here between 1 and 4 AM on day 5. Both of us were at SEC, Dollar Defense Academy that day. Oh, just in case, number 2 as in second, Whole thing too long to keep repeating, so I shortened it. We've also taken to calling this place number 1. Although its official name is the Last Defense Academy, shortening it to last sounded strange, so we settled on number 1 instead. Got it, thanks for explaining. Hey, are you suspecting us? Of course not. Actually, it's not completely impossible for one of us from number 2 to have done it. What? Any of us could have used the school bus to travel to and from here overnight. Oh, now that you mention it. Bedtime is at 11 PM. Someone could have set off at midnight after everyone else had fallen asleep. If they pushed the bus to its limits, it would have taken about 3 hours to get here, putting their time of arrival at around 3 AM. If they took only 30 minutes to finish the job, they could have left number 1 by 3:30 AM and returned to number 2 at around 6:30 AM, just before the morning announcement at 7 AM. Also, someone from number 2 coming here wouldn't have triggered the wall of fire intruder alert. That's true. Wait, and you're telling me this as a member of number 2 yourselves? Oh, sorry for shooting my mouth off like that. It's just, the incident doesn't quite feel as real to me because I've never met the victim. Just in case, I asked them what they were doing between 11 PM on day 4 and 7 AM on day 5. And as I expected, the answers were the same. I was sleeping like a log in my room. Me too. What are you guys doing here? At my question, the 4 of them tensed up and looked at each other. Nothing in particular. We're just bored, that's all. There are lots of things we can use to relieve our boredom here. After hearing their reply, I informed them that I was investigating Gaku's murder case. They were taken aback. What, are you out of your mind? Gaku was killed in the early morning of day 5. Almost 20 days have passed since then. Why now? Because you guys said you wouldn't trust me until I sniffed out the real culprit, remember? Does that mean you're suspicious of us? I didn't say that. It's actually much better if I can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that we're all innocent. The more people you can confirm are innocent, the sooner you can prove that the killer had never been one of us to begin with, right? I see your point, but I'm afraid that will be difficult to accomplish. Why? Nobody from Group 1 has a verifiable alibi. Oh, Group 1? Yeah. Where's Group 2? Yeah. Wait, sister dearest. But you and I have ironclad alibis. Because we were sleeping together in the same room, that doesn't hold any water from an objective point of view. It is just as Hiruko said. The testimony of a sibling doesn't count. Miss Amemiya, you are distrustful of us too? Who said that? You're jumping the gun here. What if you looked at possible motives? Motives? Like, is there anyone among you who had something against Gaku? Akumi, are you really expecting someone to say yes to a question like that? Besides, as Mr. Ginzaki mentioned just now, Mr. Maruko was killed in the early morning of day 5. At At that point, we'd only known each other for 4 days. Hardly enough time to develop a grudge deep enough to stab someone that many times over. Oh, mein Hals, ey. And that's the truth. Yeah, I guess. That's why I believe there's no point in trying to solve this case by looking at motives. Well, that murder was carried out by a lunatic. That's the only way for it to make any sense. Which means the prime suspect would be the craziest lunatic of us all. The man, the myth, the meme himself, Takumi.
Hey!
Why me? Because you killed Mr. Aotsuki so easily. Just like that. And without any proof. How many times do you have to explain? He betrayed us in another future, and that's why... Why would you say that to the police? Would it even hold up in the court of law? I killed him to stop him from carrying out a crime in the future. Does that sound like a good defense to you? It was the same old argument, it wasn't worth repeating, so I didn't bother continuing. I simply sighed deeply, shook my head and left. I finished talking with everyone. Sadly, I didn't manage to unearth anything new. Well, nobody in number 1 had an alibi. They didn't have a motive either. Nothing changed about this. But the 5 new members from number 2. I've realized any one of them could have been the culprit. Unwahrscheinlich, glaube ich nicht. They could have taken the school bus to and from number 1 and number 2 overnight. Die wussten noch gar nicht, dass number 1 existiert. They could also enter without triggering the alarm. All this investigation had done was throw more names into the suspect list. The murder weapon was still missing and the killer left no trace of the scene at the scene of the crime. In short, there are 0 clues to go on. How do I even continue the investigation like this? I sighed and collapsed onto bed. The day drew to a close and night slowly took over. Oder wussten die, dass Nummer 1 existiert? I mean, macht Sinn. I guess. Aber die wussten nicht, wo das ist. Sirius' carefree voice faded away into the darkness, only to be slowly taken over by a cold silence. It was in that silence that I found myself heading to a certain place, the courtyard, where Eva was being held. I went closer to her cage and stopped just in front of it. Takumi, is something wrong? You look very tired. I'm not. You're just imagining things. Well then, why are you here? When Shoma was bringing food to me, he told me about Gaku. He also shared a lot of other things with me. I'm aware of your current predicament. You mustn't lie to yourself, Takumi. What? The truth is, you think the killer is someone among the 12 of you, right? No, I don't. Please, you can be honest with me. I won't tell anyone. I'm the only one you can remove as a suspect because I only arrived here 3 days ago. It's literally impossible for me to have killed Gaku. If I had managed to slip in somehow without triggering the alarm, I wouldn't have stopped at Gaku. In short, I am the only one in this school that you can trust right now. You've come here because deep inside you know that too, am I wrong? You may be right. The words spilled out of my mouth before I could stop myself. I couldn't even be sure if I had meant what I said. You and I are the same, Takumi. I don't trust my allies either, especially not Vashnis. Why's that? That battle 3 days ago, she was supposed to send reinforcements for me, but they never came. She was using me as bait. Bait? She nodded and continued to talk. She should have seen me being caught from where she was located. But she didn't do anything, because that was her plan all along. Wait a minute, I thought Vashnis was dead. That is what everyone seems to believe, but is it really true? I am of the opinion that she's still alive somewhere out there. Takumi, here's the straight truth. There's a bomb inside my body. The detonator is on the joint of my left pinky finger, moving in a particular motion triggers an explosion. Anyone standing within a 25-yard radius at that time will be blown to smithereens. Please relax. I don't intend on going through with it. If I did, I would have done it a long time ago. Anyway, Rashness ordered me to do this. If you get caught, blow yourself up in front of everyone in the Special Defense Unit. I was not to humiliate myself by becoming a prisoner of war. But you didn't do that. My orders were to detonate in front of everyone. I was to blow up every single member of the Special Defense Unit. I didn't detonate the bomb when you apprehended me because the other 4 members were on the rooftop. I get it now. That's why you wouldn't offer any insult until I came. But you came alone, which defeated the purpose of the request. You were all supposed to come together. That was Vision's plan, huh? Yes, to allow you to capture me before detonating, taking out everyone in one fell swoop. That's why she didn't send reinforcements. Eva clenched her jaw and lowered her head, her eyes brimming with tears. Okay, I understand the situation better now, but why are you sharing this top secret plan with me? I wasn't lying when I said I was feeling unwell this afternoon. It was bothering me that much. I had to choose between lying to you and eventually killing everyone here, or telling you the truth and joining your side. The way of that decision made me feel so ill, but in the end you decided to side with me. Yes, because I could never betray someone who saved my life. One more thing, your eyes. When I look into them, I sense something familiar. Something familiar? Solitude, it dwells within you. Those lonely eyes were what drew my heart to you. Her words weighed heavily on me. It felt like something I was trying desperately to keep hidden had been forcefully exposed. Yet instead of panicking, I felt a strange sense of relief deep inside. I may have been unknowingly putting a barrier between myself and the others because of my suspicions. It truly felt like Eva was the only one I could open up to, because she was the only one I could say with absolute certainty didn't kill Kaku. By the way, aren't you going to ask me about our army? Nah, I'm not in the mood for that right now. I probably wouldn't remember anything anyway. Then may I ask a favor? Go on. Please, return my mask to me. Your mask? The mask I was wearing on the battlefield. My people highly value our masks. We consider them as part of us. Without it, I feel exposed. Fine, your mask, right? Yes, thank you so much. After leaving Eva, I went back to my room. Interesting. I had mixed feelings about our conversation. A chaotic mix of slight relief, intense guilt, and great confusion.
Hey!
With a loud cry, I jumped into bed and resigned myself to a sleepless night ahead. Day 25. Ding dong bing bong.
Up and Atom troops, time to rise and shine!
After waking up to the usual morning announcement, I walked out of my room straight into Tsubasa. Morning, Takumi. Heading for breakfast? Hey, yeah. Hey, can I ask you something? What is it? Do you know what happened to Eva's mask? Eva's mask? Yeah, that thing she was wearing on the battlefield before she revealed her true face? Oh, that. It's being kept somewhere in the garage. Great, thanks. I'll go grab it later. Immediately after saying that, the door to the stairwell flung open and Kyoshika came charging over. She quickly ran over to us with a strained look on her face and said, Something disturbing has been discovered in the classroom on the first floor. Something? Disturbing. You must come immediately. Everyone else is already on their way. I followed Tsubasa and Kyoshika to the classroom on the first floor, dashing inside upon arrival. Who's that this time? Let's play killing game, I mean. Who was that, huh? What? No way. Not again. It was a repeat of day 4. Somebody had used red spray paint to write something on the digital blackboard again. The only difference was the content of the text. This time it said, "Let's play a killing game." Who found it first? It was I. Upon discovering this foul scene, I immediately set off to inform everybody of it. What are you doing here in the first place? Yes, well, I had wished to retrieve Lady Kurara's mask before breakfast. It had been left on the ceiling catwalk since you flung it there yesterday. Yoshika, you shall pay for this later. Kurara was already wearing her mask. She must have retrieved it before the rest of us came running in. Who would write something like this? Isn't it obvious? It's fucking Darumi. It's the same bastard who wrote the last thread. The same one who killed Gaku. Are you sure? The handwriting seems a little different. My dear sister's sharp perception pierces through everything. So someone else wrote this? Who? Wait, could it be Eva? No, I don't think that's possible. When I delivered breakfast to her just now, her cage was probably locked. Who has the key? I do. It's the only copy in existence. Also, there's a special IC chip embedded inside that makes it impossible to duplicate. We can think about the author later. I'm more curious about this killing game I suppose to refer to. Which part of killing game is hard to understand? It's a game where you kill or be killed. It still doesn't make sense. Who plays? What are the rules? Where? How? When? Why? Suddenly, Shoma raised his voice. Everybody look, there's something on the teacher's desk. This looks like a tape recorder. I guess we should listen to it. I pressed play on an eerie sounding voice coming out from the recorder.
The game has officially begun. Like the blackboard says, let's all play a killing game together. The name of this game is The Invader Hunt.
The message continued. Anyone willing to participate should gather in the leisure lounge at 7 PM. All who refuse to join the game will be eliminated. That is all. With those eerie words, the voice stopped. Silence prevailed. We could have heard a pin drop. We were all frowning, although nobody said anything. The last note hadn't been a prank. Sira was destroyed and Gaku was murdered. This note could have been written by the same person. His last words especially kept echoing loudly in my mind. All who refuse to join the game will be eliminated. By the way, Kako, you mentioned something about the handwriting of this message being different from the last. Maybe the culprit deliberately changed it. We should keep that possibility in mind. Too soon to be jumping to conclusions about two different culprits when the MO is the same. So Gaku's murderer's on the move again? Basically, this could be from the same person who killed Gaku. If so, we might be able to find their true identity by joining the game, but that option came with a major risk. The monster who destroyed Sea-Ray and slaughtered Gaku was behind it after all. Join the game despite the risks, or try to keep everyone as safe as possible. We had until 7 PM to decide what to do, but it didn't seem prudent to delay our decision until the last minute. We had to stay united, all of us. For that to happen, I had to clearly express my opinion on the matter first, as team leader. But what was our best option? Should we join the game or ignore it completely? I thought long and hard about what to say, and then I made my decision. Nö. Nur keine Lust.
Guys, here's what I think. I'm not going to join this invader hunt thing.
Right, of course not. A rational decision. Hope you can follow my lead in this. I know I will. There's nothing to be afraid of if you all reject it together. Hey, don't speak for everyone just yet. What, you mean you're joining? Of course, I'll never get a chance to live out my fantasies like this again. Besides, the name Invader Hunt makes the game sound like it's going to be an absolute blast. I'm with Takumi on this one. You'll find me playing that game over my dead body. This invader hunt is just a culprit trying to trick us into believing it will be fun, but it's clearly stated on the blackboard that this is a killing game. The recording said as much too. I'll follow Takumi's lead as well. It's against my artistic principles to kill for entertainment. This message doesn't make sense anyway. The sponsor said those not in the game will be eliminated, but we'd still get eliminated sooner or later if we join. If we did join. Don't be stupid, nobody has to die if we win, right? Right? Darumi, are you listening to yourself? You're taking this I love killing games persona a little too far, aren't you? I'm not, I'm just saying what I really think. Narumi's pigtails swayed as she rigorously shook her head in denial. But there was definitely some uncertainty in your eyes. What about you, Hiroko? You haven't said anything yet. Either choice is fine with me. What do you mean? I'm not interested in this game at all. I am, however, interested in finding out the sponsor's identity. They'll make their move eventually, whether we join the silly game or not. That's when we'll swoop in and bring that sicko down, right? That's more or less what I was thinking. Then we have an answer. Yes, we're not going to join the invader hunt. Darumi, you don't mind, do you? I do mind, but it's not like I can play a killing game by myself. Fine. Fine, I'll go with the majority. After that, we decided to stay together until the stipulated time. We didn't know what might happen, and there was always the possibility the sponsor was actually one of us. Staying together meant we could prevent the sponsor from trying anything. I didn't tell anyone about that second reason though. They all seemed convinced the sponsor was an outsider who had infiltrated the school. Well, they were acting like they thought that anyway. The sky turned dark as we whiled our time away. Finally, it was 7 PM, the time mentioned on the voice recorder. That was when I threw the door to the leisure lounge open. Not because I wanted to join the game, of course. I was there to declare as team leader that none of us would be joining. Everyone else stood outside just in case. Turning around, I could see the others trying to peer through the door, which was slightly ajar. There was nobody inside the room, not even a faint presence. After looking around, I lifted my head to the ceiling and shouted, "Hey, are you there? Can you see me? I'm here to tell you, none of us will join your stupid invader hunt." No response at all. Have it your way. That's all I wanted to say. Have a bad night. After that cold farewell, I turned around and stepped out of the leisure lounge. Oh boy, you really said it. And after the sponsor said they'd kill us all if we refuse to play the game. Don't say I didn't warn you. Will we be okay? Gaku got killed the last time we did this. But the killer fled when we went outside the wall of fire, right? Most likely, yeah. That's why the sponsor of this game probably isn't one of us. Gaku even said this morning that the handwriting was different this time. I can't be completely sure because they use spray paint. If the sponsor wasn't the one who killed Gaku, there's also the possibility this entire thing was just a prank. So we need not to unnecessarily shaken. That's if the sponsor wasn't the killer. The truth of the matter remains to be seen. Everybody fell momentarily silent after that. Question. What's the plan for tonight? Plan? Our sleeping arrangements. Where should we all spend the night? I'm definitely sleeping in my dear sister's room. I'll stay with Takomaru. No way. What? You don't trust Takumi even after he saved my life. You and me are through, man. But the Tsukumo twins aside, why don't we sleep in our own rooms like normal? Just lock the door and we'll be fine. I agree. There are 13 people here. Making everyone sleep in pairs would leave one person out. Alright, but why not put that person with one of the other pairs? We should avoid having 3 people in one room. It's too risky. Risky? Why? Not again. Our teams already discussed this to death. And now I have to repeat myself? Despite her complaint, Yuruko carefully explained to those from the other academy why we decided having 3 people in one room together was a bad idea. That does make sense. We should all go back to our rooms then. No, you've just triggered the mother of all death flags, and you don't even know it. Well, anything to spice up things around here. That decided, we all returned to our own room to sleep after dinner. Ima insisted on sleeping in Kako's room, but nobody protested on that point. Ding dong bing bong. In the morning, I headed to the cafeteria for breakfast, only to find that everyone else was already there. 1, 3, 9, oh my. How is it that I count 14 souls? Because you're terrible at math. There are only 13 people here. You see, nothing bad happened. So it was just a prank after all. But by who? And for what purpose? If you're asking me, I think the most likely suspect is... We all turned to look at Naomi. Wait a minute, you're accusing me of being the game's sponsor? I don't think so. Darumi doesn't have the guts to pull off something like that. You underestimate me. I may not have guts, but I've still got my brain meats. They are small and overpowered, but they are small and overpowered, but they are there all the same. Oh, for the love of murder. Hey, can't we just be happy that nothing happened? Please excuse me for exposing you to my foul-smelling dumpster breath, but why don't we all have breakfast together? Oh, voll Halsschmerzen schon. After breakfast, we all headed off to do our own things. Relieved that nothing bad had happened after all. As for me, I went back to my room. Almost immediately, a visitor came knocking. I opened the door to find Tsubasa standing outside.
Huh?
Did something happen? You asked about Eva's mask yesterday, right? I brought it here for you. Oh, thanks. Sorry for the trouble. I took the mask from her. What are you going to do with that? I was thinking of returning it to Eva. What, you trust her now? Not really, it's just... Oh, I know, you fell in love with her. What? Of course not. Tsubasa narrowed her eyes at me and I felt my palms get sweaty. Never mind, it's none of my business. Everyone's free to love who they want. I told you that's not it. But since we're talking about the mask, I looked it over out of the curiosity. And I found something pretty interesting. That mask isn't an ordinary accessory. It actually comes installed with a bunch of high-tech features. Infrared vision, night vision, zoom functions, organic life detection. There's even a miniature air tank inside that allows it to turn into a gas mask. Using that air tank, the wearer can survive completely shut off from the outside world for as long as 30 minutes. That's amazing. It almost sounds like it'd be waste to give it back to Eva. You wouldn't be able to use it, Takumi. It's custom made to fit a specific shape. Eva's the only one who can wear it. Guess I might as well give it back to her after all. Even with the best technology in the world, she can't possibly harm any of us from inside the cage, right? Tsubasa thought about it for a while before nodding in agreement. By the way, when's she gonna give us more information about the enemy? She did promise to be useful if we spared her life. I actually think it'd be best if we could get her to join us as an ally. An ally? Yeah, so that she can fight in defensive battles along with us. We'd need some kind of safety measure before allowing her to cut loose, of course. Like a collar with a bomb, maybe. That should put everyone at ease, right? If she tries to run or do anything funny, all we have to do is stop her, is press a button to activate the bomb. A bulb lit up in my mind as Tsubasa was speaking. Tsubasa. Let's say there was already a self-destruction device in Eva's body. Would it be possible for someone else to activate it? It depends on how the bomb was built. If the detonation mechanism was designed to be triggered remotely, then maybe. In that case, your plan might actually work. The detonator is on the joint on my left hand pinky finger. Moving it in a particular motion triggers an explosion. Wait, you're being serious? You weren't just speaking hypothetically? Do you think that's something you can do? You want me to create a detonation device for the bomb inside her? Yes, once it's done, we'll have the perfect safety measure. And then we can allow Eva to join us, huh? Alright, I'll give it a shot. Awesome, I'm counting on you. After Tsubasa left, I went to look for Hiruko to get the key from her. The key that would open Eva's cage. I walked into the courtyard, her mask in hand. Takumi, here you go, as promised. That's my mask. It sure is. I opened the cage using the key Hiruko gave me. After handing Eva's mask to her, I closed the door and locked it again. Thank you, Takumi. I don't know what to say. No need. Just keeping my promise. Well, I'll be seeing you. I turned around, giving him a casual wave as I walked away. I'm back in my room, but now what? There's nothing for me to do here. I may as well take a walk around school. Nee, nicht Chapter Select. Okay, ich habe alles von Gaku und den anderen Stuff kann ich alles nicht machen. Okay.
For me?
Ups. Ich kann ja noch keine Geschenke geben. Ah, immerhin. That's still okay. I went to bed after an uneventful day. No, it only seemed uneventful. Something may have been brewing behind the scenes without me noticing, but since I had no way of ascertaining that, I decided to simply go to bed and embrace sleep for the night. I woke up as the morning announcement played. It barely finished when a piercing scream resounded in my ears. I jumped out of my bed and dashed out of my room. Hiruko, Tsubasa and Takamado were on the roof already. Was that Shomon just now? Yeah, I came running out when I heard it. I was already here when she came out. The scream came from the back of the building. Are you sure? Trust me, I've got a dog's hearing. Okay, let's go. We made our way down the stairs as quickly as we could and headed for the back of the school. It didn't take long for us to reach our destination, where we saw... Oh, das ist aber frisch, wenn er noch geschrien hat. I rushed over to check his pulse and breathing.
Nothing. He's dead.
No way!
By this time, other team members had come running as well. It was Nozomi, Moko, Kyoshika, Yugamo and Kurara. They gasped and their eyes went wide when they saw Shoma's body.
Shoma!
Impossible! What is this?
Is he breathing?
No, unfortunately.
Get your act together. It's too early to give up. We just heard him screaming. He can't have been dead longer than 10 minutes.
Right. We can use the Revive-O-Matic to bring him back.
Let's get him to the infirmary!
Yes, but just one moment.
The hell?
Sir Ima, Lady Kako, and Lady Darumi have not shown up yet.
Hey, you're right.
Maybe they woke up early and went to the cafeteria first?
Even so, they should have heard the scream. Weird that they didn't come running like the rest of us.
This isn't the time to discuss that. Get Shoma to the infirmary now.
Yeah, I'll carry him there on my back. I don't know how to work the Revive-O-Matic though.
I'll come with you. The rest of you can go look for Ima, Kako, and Darumi.
Got it.
Akamaru put Shoma on his back and immediately ran off to the infirmary with Tsubasa. The rest of us then split up to look for Ima, Kako, and Darumi. Since the person who attacked Shoma could still be lurking nearby, we split into teams for safety. I partnered up with Hiroko. We decided to start with the cafeteria. We made our way there as soon as we could, but there was nobody else inside. Ima, Kako, Darumi, anybody there? No response. Looks like they're not here. Yes, let's try somewhere else. Turning around, we dashed down the hallway toward the gym. But when we got there... Hey, I can't open the door. Is it locked? I peered through the small opening of the slight-ajar door. There's a latch. Someone latched the door from the inside. Hiduko and I looked at each other nervously, neither daring to breathe. You're going to have to break the door down. You're right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. One more time, 1, 2, 3. The door refused to budge even after we threw ourselves against it numerous times. Soon the noise we were making started attracting the others to the gym as well. We need some help here, guys. What we were trying to do was obvious enough that we didn't have to explain. Everybody nodded. Everyone nodded, took a couple of steps back and prepared to charge the door. Ready, go. The latch broke apart with a cracking sound and we all tumbled into the gym together and lying on the floor in front of us.
Kako!
This is...
Unbelievable.
I ran to Kako and put my finger on her neck. There was no pulse. She was definitely cold. Hiduko came from behind me and started examining Kako's body. Once she had finished, she turned to look at the others and silently shook her head.
It's okay. She couldn't have been dead for too long, like Shoma.
Then we should take her to the infirmary now!
Yeah.
Nozomi ran over to Kako and lifted her up. As she did, something fell out from Kako's right hand. What is this? A medicine bottle? By the time I noticed it, Nozomi had already run out of the gym, carrying Kako's body. As the rest of us started to leave, Hiduko suddenly spoke up. Wait, Yugamu, you go with Nozomi. Moko, Kyoshika, Kurara, continue looking for Ima and Darumi, and Takumi, you stay here. What? Why? Just do as I say for now, I'll explain later. Alright. Let us be off at once. The others nodded at each other and then ran toward the hallway. Leaving only Hiduko and myself at the scene of the crime. Why only me? There's only one exit here, and it was latched shut. I turned to look at the exit. Lying on the floor nearby was a mop that had been broken into 3 pieces. The mop handle had been used as a makeshift latch. It would be impossible for someone to latch the door like that from the outside, which means this incident happened in a locked room. Assuming this is true, there are 2 possibilities I can think of. Can you guess what they are? I answered hesitantly. The first possibility is that, as much as I hated to say it, Kako killed herself, right? Yes, look at the bottle that dropped from her hand. What does the label say? TTX. There's an abbreviation for tetrodotoxin. Tetrodotoxin. Whatever. It's extremely poisonous. Swallowing just 1 or 2 milligrams is fatal. Are you saying Kako drank this? I don't know, but we'll have time to think about that later. The other possibility is the more pressing one. Because if Kako didn't take the poison herself, It didn't take me long to make the connection. The killer's still hiding somewhere in the gym? Yes, if there is a killer, that is. That's why I told you to stay behind. Alright, let's look around. Hiroko and I searched the gym as cautiously as we could. Despite leaving no stone unturned, we didn't find anyone hiding anywhere. This makes it clear that Kako took her own life. Does it though? Shoma was found sliced up at the back of the building earlier at the same time. Didn't you find it strange that somebody killed him while Kako killed herself? No, there's something strange about that if Kako had been the one to kill Shoma. After stabbing him to death, she ran into the gym, blocked the door with a mop handle and ingested the poison to kill herself. I decided to state my opinion objectively, even though I really didn't want to say those words aloud. Maybe, but that wouldn't make sense if Kako died before Shoma. Remember how Kako felt when you touched her body? Yes, she's already gone completely cold. I noticed it too. It's probably been several hours since she died. So Kako killed herself sometime last night and then somebody killed Shoma in this morning? I mean, das wird die Maschine ja sagen, wann der estimated time of death ist. Aber der Voice Changer ist ja auch noch im Spiel. Hätte einer mit dem Voice Changer Shoma Cry machen können. Or Kako was also murdered. That's a possibility as well. How is that possible when the door was latched from the inside? Wait, there's something more important here. Kako had already been dead for a few hours. Yes, I'm afraid it's already too late for her. Oh no. Tsubasa, Nozomi and Yugamo were in the infirmary when Hiroko and I arrived. They were standing around with a grave look on their faces. How are Shoma and Kako? Well, we managed to successfully revive Shoma. Echt? Dang. That's great. Yes, what a relief. Das ist das erste Mal, dass wer wiederbelebt wird, der ermordet wird. But he's still unconscious. His physical body has been restored to full health, but it seems he hasn't recovered mentally from the attack yet. Where is he? Sleeping in his room. Takomaru is taking care of him. And what about Kako? We put her in the revive-o-medic, but alas. Hiroko and I went behind the revive-o-medic to look at the monitor. What was written on the screen made our hearts sink. Cause of death? Respiratory paralysis induced asphyxiation. Estimated time of death day 27, between 1 and 4 am. Traces of TTX poison detected in body. Oral intake of TTX presumed to have led to respiratory paralysis induced asphyxiation. No external injuries found on body. Too much time has passed since death. Impossible to revive. The silence of the room was broken by the door being thrown open and 3 people running in. Darumi, you're safe. Where were you all this time? In the rec room playing slots. You were doing what? You can't blame me. I overslept this morning and didn't see anyone in the cafeteria. I just assumed everyone was off doing their own thing. Kirishika and I found her in the rec room and dragged her here. We've already told her about Shoma and Kako. Still, we didn't yet know if they'd been successfully revived, so here we are. Did it go well? Just then, 2 other people barged into the room noisily. Miss Osuzuki told me what happened. I fell asleep in my dear sister's room last night, but when I woke up, she was nowhere to be found. I've been looking around for her ever since. I saw him running around the hallways like a headless chicken and brought him here. Where's my dear sister? What has happened to her? She dead, bro. She dead. I explained the situation to everyone who had just arrived. The news that Kako could no longer be revived hit everyone like a ton of bricks. Tears started welling up in Moko and Kirishika's eyes, while Kurara was sniffling away under her mask. Darumi alone shed no tears. She had a vacant look on her face as she stared absently into space. And as for Ima...
No! 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 Dear sister! My dear sister! No!
With an anguished cry, the distraught Ima lost control of all reason and started lashing out. We managed to wrestle him to the ground and pin his limbs down even as he struggled violently.
Wait here while I go grab the gamma feel.
What's that?
Powerful anesthetic. We have some in the biolab.
Yugamo dashed off as quickly as he could. He came back a while later with the gamma field, which he then injected into Ima. The drug caused Ima to weaken and slump over. Yugamo observed him closely.
All is fine now. He's unlikely to wake up before tomorrow morning.
We moved the unconscious Ima to his room and assigned Mokuro to watch over him. After that, we took Kaku's body over to the morgue. There were now 3 bodies lying on tables in the morgue. Kaku's body was the smallest. I kept staring at her. When I closed my eyes, I could still see her innocent smile. I couldn't believe the girl I had thought of I couldn't believe the girl I had thought of my own little sister was now gone. An indescribable ache spread through my chest at that thought. Unable to stand the pain, I forced myself to look away. After that, we went to the courtyard to check the cages. Eve was still inside hers, the door securely locked. Hideko and I went to tell the others what we'd learned from investigating the gym, the improvised ledge, the bottle of poison, and how there had been no one else inside. While we were talking, the sun had set and darkness of night was slowly taking over. It was already evening. Since nobody was in the mood for a meal, we gathered in the leisure lounge instead of the cafeteria. Sir Takemaru, we're not supposed to be attending Sir Shoma. Yugamo took over. Shoma's still not cold, but he's physically fine now. I just don't understand why Kako would kill herself. As I've already explained, we don't know for sure that it was suicide. We haven't found a suicide note, not in the gym, on her clothes or in her room yet. But the gym door was latched shut from the inside. And you didn't find anyone else in there, correct? Yes, but I find it hard to accept Kako had killed herself, when Shoma was clearly killed by someone else. Why would she even do such a thing? I won't be fully convinced until a clear reason surfaces. I think she was murdered too, by that sponsor who was trying to get us to join the invader hunt. They did warn us this would happen. You all heard what the recording said, remember? All who refuse to join the game will be eliminated. All who refuse. That means the rest of us are targets too. You telling us that sponsor wants to kill us all? The first threatening message said something about everyone dying too. It sure did. The first and second threats. We assume they were written by different people because of the handwriting. But I'm starting to think it was the same person after all. We went against the first note. We ignored the demand to leave the academy and chose to stay behind instead. That gave the culprit an idea. I'd hold a killing game and force those guys to murder each other. But when we went against the second request as well, they decided they were going to have to do it themselves. And by it you mean killing us? Yep, it all makes sense if you think about it that way, doesn't it? That would mean the perpetrator has already murdered 4 people. 4? Sir Gaku, Lady Kako, C-Ray and Sir Shoma. Though Sir Shoma was lucky enough to escape the jaws of death. So we're up against a ruthless serial killer here. We can't just let someone butcher our friends and get away scot-free. But how do we find them? Haven't I mentioned this before? The killer may well be one of us. Everyone tensed up at Hiruko's words and started exchanging suspicious glances. Not everyone is a suspect though. It would have been impossible for Takumi, Tsubasa, Takemaru or me to have done this. How can we be so sure? Oh, that's right, the 4 of us met each other on the rooftop this morning, immediately after hearing Shoma scream. He was stabbed at the back of the building. Even if we could teleport, there's no way we could have appeared at the rooftop right after slicing him up that badly. He wasn't thrown down from the rooftop after being stabbed either. His body hadn't taken any fall damage. Just a moment, what if all 4 of you were working together. Yes, it would definitely seem possible from your point of view. That would also mean one in 3 of our team are killers. I don't think the SCU would be worth it much then. That line of reasoning isn't strong enough to prove your innocence. Anyway, what were the rest of you doing at the time? I remember those who came after us were Nozomi, Kurashika and Kurara. Moko and Yugamu too, though they aren't here right now. Where did you guys come from? I ran from the entrance hall. I simply found myself in a group as well. What? I simply found myself in a group as I was heading to the back of the building. How did you know to go there? Well, I heard Shoma scream, but I chose to wait in my room first before making a move. Then I overheard you guys talking outside. You said something about a scream coming from the back of the building, correct? So I followed you to the scene of the crime. Nozomi and Tarumi said the same thing, but I couldn't tell if they were telling the truth. Whatever the case, there was no denying the perpetrator could have joined up with the group halfway through without anyone realizing. Your suspicions are misplaced, especially when there is a much likelier suspect to cast aspersions on. Yes, someone who didn't even show up at the crime scene. Huh? Wait a minute, do you mean me? You were totally trying to get us all to join that stupid killing game. So when you refused to cave after the second threat, you decided to... It wasn't me. I had nothing to do with that threat. I overslept, that's all. You all shot Tarumi deeply suspicious looks. Her dismay and bewilderment were palpable. Beads of sweat rolled down her face, making her makeup run. Hey, can I say something? I think it's counterproductive for us to be doubting each other like this. How are we going to handle future battles if we can't even stay united? Let's calm down and think about things rationally. Under normal circumstances, the probability of a killer being an outsider is a lot higher than the alternative. But would an outsider be able to slip in without triggering the alarm? Well, that's... Maybe it was Eva. Impossible. We checked the cage just now, remember? She was still inside the gate. She was still inside and the gate was properly locked. Not only that, I have the key right here. This is the only key and it can't be duplicated, as Seruko said. Also, I locked the door last night, so nobody could have stolen the key from me while I was asleep. What if you were working with her? I can debunk that theory. Takumi has been with me since the morning. Even if he had let Eva out of a cage last night to stab Shoma, he couldn't have locked it back up this morning without my knowledge. You need the key to lock the cage just as much as you needed to unlock it. That means it's one of us. No, it can't be. There has to be a way for someone to come in without triggering the alarm. There's always a possibility that nobody slipped in at all. What are you saying? I'm saying the killer could have already been hiding in the academy before the first team was dispatched here. That's true. If they were here already, they wouldn't have triggered the alarm. So that person's still hiding somewhere in the school right now? All of a sudden, Tsubasa raised her voice. I know, I can make an organic life detection device. Organic life detection device? Put simply, it's a machine that detects the number of large living organisms on school grounds. It won't be advanced enough to pinpoint the exact locations, but having a precise number should tell us there's really an outsider hiding here. You can make something like that? I found a similar function while investigating Eva's mask 2 days ago. I took the opportunity to study it thoroughly. So yes, I can make something like that in 7 days maybe? 7 days. Until then, let's stop being suspicious of each other like Nozomi suggested. We'll assume the killer is an outsider until proven wrong. What do you guys say? Everyone nodded in agreement. The moment I saw that, the world around me started to spin. What is this? It was the last thought in my mind before it shut down completely. Wie viele Tage wurden jetzt geskippt? 39. Dang, 12 Tage. Nice, nice. Ich mach mal eine ganz kurze Pipi-Pause. Bis gleich. So. I woke up to the now all too familiar sight of Nozomi sitting right in front of me. It was deja vu time. She noticed right away that I was awake and leapt to her feet with an ear-piercing scream. She scuttled frantically around the room a few times more than the last before finally coming to a stop. And then she just stood there in a daze. I watched the entire scene play out before sitting up. What day is today? Day 39. I fainted on the night of day 27, so I've been out for 11 days? Yes, we're almost out of emergency feeding drips. Why did I lose consciousness? I didn't get stabbed on day 27 and my old wound didn't reopen. Nozomi regarded me with a somber look on her face as I mumbled to myself. Then she gave me the diagnosis. Was ist das denn hier? Noch eine Comedy-Route oder was? We think you have the fainting disease? Also known as a psychogenic pseudosyncope. A disease that causes you to suddenly lose consciousness after being exposed to strong psychological shock or stress. Like your mind just blows out. I have a disease like that? Yes, after what happened to Shoma and Kako on day 27. Your mind suffered a heavy blow. And even though you somehow made it to nighttime okay, the moment you felt like you could relax, your mind completely shut down, just like that. How could you tell I had this disease? This is the third time you fainted out of the blue, right? And it always takes you a long time to regain consciousness. This didn't seem like normal behavior, so we decided to scan your brain. Using the Revomedics diagnosis function. I don't remember contracting any disease like that. This is what the machine analysis said. Traces of treatment found on damaged part of the brain. Fainting disease likely developed as after effect. Treatment on damaged parts of my brain? I don't know what exactly happened. At any rate, the damage isn't life-threatening and doesn't affect your cognitive function or your judgment. So that part doesn't need... So that part's nothing to worry about, at least. Easy for you to say. This means I could faint again if something stressful happens, right? Yes, but I'm sure it'll be alright. As long as we make sure nothing too stressful happens again. So, has anything changed? Changed? Like, have you guys learned anything about the killer while I was out? No, we haven't made any progress in that area. The unknown killer remains at large and we don't have a single clue to follow. Nobody's been attacked since then, so we are still alive at least. What about Shoma and Ima? Shoma's regained consciousness already, but he said he doesn't know who stabbed him. You can ask him about it yourself later. And Ima? He's barricaded himself in his room and hasn't said much to us. Just a word or two when we deliver food to him. Needless to say, he didn't fight in the defensive battle that happened on day 33. Ima, Shoma and Darumi sat out that battle as usual. Are those three still suspicious of me? Yes, they seem to think you're the most likely suspect, but even if you weren't the one, it had to be someone from the SCU. That's what those three believe. Nozomi and I headed to the cafeteria together, where everyone except Ima, Shoma and Darumi were gathered. When they saw me, they said things like, "You're awake," or "Thank goodness." Everyone was quietly rejoicing about seeing me on my feet again. Their reactions were a lot more subdued than before. I could hardly blame them. This was the third time I'd woken up after losing consciousness for several days. At least, that was what I thought. It turned out they had another reason to be despondent. The dark, gloomy aura that hung over the group indicated there was something more at play here. I finished breakfast and returned to my room. Soon after, Tsubasa came knocking. You saw how dejected everyone seemed just now, right? Wanna know why? Sure. She pulled out something from behind her back. What's this? The organic life detection device. Alright, you finished it. 5 days ago, yeah. But no, I wish I hadn't. Why not? Because this is the reason everyone's jumping at shadows. She turned the device on as she spoke. 13. Yup, the total number of life forms in this academy. That's all of us, including Eva. Which means there are no outsiders in this school. And the culprit is really one of us. Yeah, that's what everyone believes now, except for me and Nozomi, that is. You two still think it was an outsider that did it? I don't know, but the killers could have fled outside after stabbing Shoma, right? The possibility of that happening seemed low to me, but I forced myself not to voice these doubts. Anyway, that's why everyone's so down. Basically, it's because they're all suspicious of one another. This isn't going to end well. Without trust, we won't be able to put up a united front during the next offensive battle. Can't you do something, Takumi? I'll do what I can to help as well. Just tell me what you need. Oh, I just remembered. I finished that other thing you asked me to do, to make a while ago too. What thing? You know, the remote detonator that should trigger the bomb in Eva's body. I managed to complete it after successfully investigating her body, with her consent of course. Tsubasa rummaged through her pocket and took out something that looked like a remote control. I took it and grabbed it tightly in my hand. Thanks, this puts me at ease. I'll probably add Eva to the team starting from the next battle. Yeah, that should help out our battle our combat power. The problem is getting the others to trust her. Oh well, I've done my part. The rest is up to you. With that, she left the room. Up to me, huh? How should I do this? What was it Tsubasa said before? The killer could have fled outside after stabbing Shoma. To be honest, I didn't think they did. I had no concrete proof, but everything that had happened so far felt like part of a larger scheme. That someone was orchestrating. At the very least, I was convinced the culprit wasn't going to stop at Shoma's stabbing. In that case, excluding myself, the killer must be one of the other 12 students at this academy. No, wait. Shoma was a victim. If Hiruko, Tsubasa and Takomaru and Eva were also innocent, that leaves just 7 suspects. Darumi, Nozomi, Kyoshika, Yugamu, Moko, Ima and Kurara. I never willingly choose to treat any of my friends as suspects, but as it turns out, I don't have a choice right now. I won't gain everyone's trust until I identify the real culprit. And if I don't have that trust, the SCU would fall apart and everyone would be annihilated by the invaders. The only way to prevent that from happening is to reveal the identity of the killer. You must solve this future case yourself, Takumi. That was what the boy with the undying flame said. He must have known something like this would happen. At any rate, this was the only way of resolving all this that I could think of. I have to find the culprit no matter what. I clenched my fists and resolved to devote myself to the investigation. Rang the doorbell. No answer. I tried the doorknob, but it was locked. Ima, I know you're inside. Can we talk?
Hey!
I'm trying to track down the culprit, but I need something to go on. At that, a voice called out from the other side of the door. Ah, you're awake, Mr. Sumino. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can tell you. Come on, there's got to be something. You see, I'm suspicious of you too. I think you may have been the one who killed my dear sister. What are you talking about? I didn't kill her, and it's in the first place, Kako, she killed herself? Is that what you're trying to say? A preposterous suggestion. There was absolutely no reason for my dear sister to do such a thing. She had no worries, no sorrows. Even if she did develop any, she would have told me about them. My dear sister did not kill herself. I have no doubt she was murdered. Like I told you just now, I suspect that the killer may have been you, Mrs. Sumino. The only reason I haven't exacted vengeance yet is because I'm not completely sure it was you. Accidentally killing the wrong person would be playing right into the hands of the real culprit. But I might lose my sense of reason if you continue to speak much longer. Can you please leave now? But I'm still in my right mind. I could sense that prolonging the conversation would lead nowhere. Ima refused to respond to any further attempts to talk. Oh, you're still in the cafeteria. Don't talk to us now. We are in the midst of a very serious discussion. Nozomi just refuses to listen to reason. What's the discussion about? I still don't believe the culprit's one of us. I'm trying to tell everyone to stop being so suspicious of one another. You saw that device total for the number of life forms in the school. Yes, but that doesn't prove the crimes were inside jobs. The culprit must have fled outside the wall of fire after stabbing Shoma. And we're trying to tell you that it's not possible. Yeah, this doesn't seem like a killer would stop at 1 or 2 victims. They clearly said they wanted to kill everyone, both in the tape recording and that first message. But I just can't. Takumi says something. Well... I stammered hard, because I was more in line with Kurara's way of thinking than Nozomi's. I did feel bad for Nozomi, so I decided to simply avoid committing for now. Sorry, I just remembered there was something I needed to do. Gotta go, bye! Wait, Takumi, hey, come back here, please! I ignored Nozomi's pleas and quickly bolted out of the room and into the hallway. Takumi, long time no see. I heard you were out cold for a while. I woke up all of a sudden for some reason. I'm glad you did. Is there something I can help you with today? There was no point asking Eva about the case, so I decided to talk about something else. Do you remember what you told me before? It was bothering me that much. I had to choose between lying to you and eventually killing everyone here, or telling you the truth and joining your side. And then you said you decided to take your chances with us, right? Yes, I will no longer try to self-destruct in everyone's presence, for the reasons I previously explained. Then, will you fight with us instead? What? Vashnis, the one who betrayed you, is still alive, right? By joining us in battle, you can personally take revenge against her and her underlings. Is that why Tsubasa asked you to conduct a thorough investigation of my body the other day? So that if I ever tried anything, your team would be able to detonate the bomb inside my body remotely? Using that device she made? Yes, but I just want to make one thing clear. I didn't ask for the device because I'm suspicious of you. It just said something that's needed to put the others at ease. Eva thought for a while about what I said. Alright, you saved my life, so if there's anything I can do to help you, I'll do it. Thank you. Unfortunately, you'll still have to wait for a while before I can let you out of here. I need to clear it with the others first. Understood, I will wait. Hiruko, you were here the other day too. What's so interesting about this place? I want to investigate Kaku's body again. What about you? I'm here to investigate the case as well. As if your clumsy brain could ever bring us closer to the truth. Oh, be quiet. Hiruko decided to repeat herself in a hushed voice. As if your clumsy brain... You know that's not what... You know what that's... Huh? Ach so, you know that's not what I meant. Anyway, have you already looked at Kaku's body? Yes, and the other two as well. Eito and Gakko too. Didn't we already check Gaku's body on day 24? Yes, but something happened to make me realize I needed to check it again. I've discovered two surprising facts after investigating Kaku's body. Surprising facts? The first concerned her crypto goblin. Her body's been almost completely drained of it. What? There's a cut on her ankle. Her body was likely moved somewhere and hung up for extended time. It was returned here after being almost completely drained of crypto goblin. When? I'll get to that later. Let me tell you about my other discovery first. Hiduko walked to Kako's body and removed the sheet that was covering it. Then she flipped the body over and what I saw flabbergasted me. What the hell? Marks of a stolen heart. What? Somebody cut a hole in her back, smashed her ribs and dug out her heart? Why would anyone do that? Before we talk about that, check the other bodies as well. I did as I was told and flipped Atos and Gaku's bodies over, only to see the exact same marks on them. A large, empty cavity on their backs. Wait a minute, what's going on here? What indeed? Why are you so calm about this? Their hearts have been removed from their bodies. I know, that's what I've been trying to tell you. When did this happen? When we investigated Gaku's body on day 24, his back was still intact. It still was on day 27 too. I checked Eito and Gaku's body when we moved Kako's body here. Nobody had holes in their backs at that time. That means it must have happened sometime after the night of day 27? The perpetrator likely did the deed to all three of them at the same time. That may have been when they extracted Kako's crypto goblin as well. Ooh. Simple logic dictates that the culprit behind the series of events did it. But why? How should I know what the culprit is up to? Perhaps they are simply a lunatic who collects hearts as a hobby, or a gourmet who enjoys a spot of grilled myocardium with a lemon on top. Both examples are crazy. There's just one thing I can't seem to figure out. Why were the hearts extracted from the back? Making an opening in the chest would make removing them so much easier, so I go about it this way. Neither of us could come up with anything feasible, so we decided to investigate the bodies again. But there was not a single further clue to be found. Medicine, one of mankind's most eminent inventions for sustaining life and dealing death. How can I help you today, Takumi? I told Yagumo that I was investigating the case. Does that include Kako's death too? Yes, the suspicious circumstances of her death bother me as well. My main objective was to solve the attempted murder of Shoma, but that didn't mean it was my only concern. Any information that might help solve Kako's case would be more than welcome. There were other cases to think about as well, like Seirei's destruction and Gaku's murder. But I hadn't found any further clues to those cases despite my thorough investigation on day 24. So I decided to focus on Shoma's case first, while the trail was still fresh. Is there something bothering you about Kako's case? Yes, there's. Remember her cause of death? She ingested tetrodotoxin, an extremely potent poison. When we found her, she was holding a bottle labeled TTX tightly in her right hand. That bottle was originally from this biolab, so the poison was taken from here. That would appear to be the case. Whether Kako, who then killed herself with it, or by someone else who used it to kill Kako. Is this room open to everyone? Sure is. There's no lock on the door and the cabinets are unsecured too. Anyone could have taken anything at any time. Somebody also stole some gamma fuel, plus syringes and needles to administer it. Gamma fuel, the substance you used to knock Ima out on day 27? The very same. But if it's still here, it hasn't been stolen, right? There are multiple bottles here, several are missing. It didn't happen recently either. I first noticed the missing bottles on day 27. When I came here to get the supplies needed to help with Ima, I saw that there were already some missing. Why would the killer do that? We don't know for sure if the killer was the one who stole them. The thing is, at the proper dilution, the substance can numb the body's pain and emotional receptors without causing loss of consciousness. Perhaps that was what the thief wanted to use it for. What you guys doing here? It isn't serial killer Takumi. You're awake. I'm not a serial killer, so stop calling me that. Anyway, I'm investigating the identity of the culprit right now. Do you mind if I ask a few questions? Whoa, can you be any more shameless? The criminal's role-playing as detective now. I'm not talking to you, I'm asking Shoma. Oh, you want to know about the person who stabbed me? I've told the others a bunch of times already. I didn't get a good look at them. Wait, I thought you were sure Takumi did it. Yes, but it's not like I have any proof, so... Does that mean you didn't see the culprit when you were stabbed? No, I did see someone, but they were wearing a mask. What about the person's head or body structure? I can't be sure. They were dressed in a long black poncho thing. You must have seen some identifiable features. I was attacked the moment I turned around, so I'm afraid not. I screamed immediately, and before I realized it, I'd been shoved to the ground. I don't remember anything after that. I fainted after the first 2 or 3 stabs. So, you don't even know if it was a man or woman? No. Did they say anything? Actually, I did hear something as I was being stabbed. The person kept saying, "Die, die." Then you should have been able to recognize the voice. The thing is, I didn't. Why not? The voice has been changed with a voice changer. Voice changer, huh? I went to the gym last. When I stepped inside, I saw that Tsubasa and Takemaru were already there. Tsubasa, Takemaru, perfect timing. I need to ask you guys about something. What is it? Remember the voice changer you showed me in the garage the other day? Is it still there? Shoma told you about the culprit using a voice changer, huh? Yes, he did. You guessed right, Takumi. The device has gone missing. I knew it. The culprit stole it, huh? I think so. When did you realize it was gone? On day 28, the day Shoma regained consciousness. I went to the garage to check after hearing his story, and the voice changer was already gone? Yeah, without anyone realizing. She showed us the voice changer on the afternoon of day 24. So it must have been stolen between that time and the morning of day 27, before Shoma got stabbed. What are you two doing here, though? I did a lot of thinking myself while you were out, and I just don't believe Kako would kill herself. Me too. At first, suicide seemed like the only possibility based on the situation. After listening to Hidoko though, I started to realize how unnatural the whole thing seemed. But if she was killed, how'd the culprit get away? That's what we needed to figure out. And so here we are. Maybe there's a secret tunnel or something here that we completely missed, you know? We're all here to do the same thing then. You mean... Yes, Kako died under such mysterious circumstances that I can't stop thinking about it. Let's check the place out together. Yeah, and we can trust each other since all of 3 us here are safers. Safers. Well, those of us that can be safely removed from the list of suspects. Safers. That's true. And thus we began to investigate the gym. We went around knocking on walls and floors to check for hidden doors. Some time passed before Takemaru shouted at us from the stage. Hey, come over here, I found something crazy. We were standing at the corner of the stage. Tsubasa and I hurried over. What in the world? No way, there really was a hidden tunnel, or should I say, a hidden ladder? I checked this place before, but I found nothing. What did you do? I told you I got a dog's hearing. I knocked on the floor, I knew right away there was empty space underneath. When I groped around the surface, and what you know, a rotatable handle came flipping out. Grabbed the handle, pulled it, and there you have it. Let's go see what's down there. Yeah. We slowly made our way down the long ladder. Eventually, I felt my toes touching solid ground. What I saw there was... Isn't this... You know this thing? Yeah, remember what I told you before? This is the escape pod that deploys on the last day. Oh, no way. Damn. Does it mean if you can get inside, you can go to the artificial satellite? We ran to the entrance of the pod and checked the door. There was a note pinned to it. The door to this pod automatically opens on day 100. No manual override available. Despite the note, we kept looking around for a way to open it manually. However, we were unable to find anything. Nope, this thing can't be opened from outside. How about we use a crowbar and pry it open? Then the pod becomes useless because outer space is a vacuum. So we have no choice but to wait until day 100. We'll have to give up on the idea of boarding the pod before then. Shit. By the way, have you guys forgotten why you came down here in the first place? Course not, we were trying to solve the locked room case, weren't we? Yeah, Hideko and I thoroughly investigated the gym after discovering Kaku's body. But if the killer had been hiding in this storeroom or the ladder shaft at the time, you couldn't possibly have found them. Then after you and Hideko left the gym, the killer got out and walked through the exit like nothing's ever happened. Which means Kaku really was killed. We don't have concrete proof of that yet. However, this does disprove the previous notion that it couldn't possibly have been murder. Wait. Assuming for a moment she was murdered, wouldn't that also prove the killer was an outsider? Because when we found Kaku's body, Takomaru, Shoma and I were in the infirmary, whereas everyone else was in the gym. No, not everyone else. Two are missing. That's right, Darumi and Ima. Ima couldn't have been the killer. He worshipped the ground she walked on. Darumi though. She said she was playing slots or something. She could have been lying through her teeth. But it's always possible that an outsider did it. You made that life detection device yourself. Unless you're telling me you made that number up. I did no such thing. It was the correct number, but the killer could have already gotten away by the time I finished making the device, right? Just then, I noticed something out of the corner of my eye, an item on the ground next to the cockpit of the escape pod. It caught my eye for some reason and I walked slowly over to pick it up. Hey, what's that? A handkerchief? So it seems. I see something embroidered on it. It reads IT. Information technology? Or maybe just it. As in it girl? Could it be referring to initials of a name? Ima. Tsukumo? When we exited the gym, we saw that it was already nighttime. I asked Takemaru and Tsubasa to gather the others before heading to Ima's room myself. Come out, Ima, I need to ask you about something. Somehow it felt like he would keep hiding if I told him about the handkerchief, so I decided not to say anything for now. We found a clue that may lead us to Kaku's killer. I made that assertion even though I had no solid proof she had been killed, because I wanted to get him out of the room. A short while later, I heard the door being unlocked. And then Ima appeared from behind it. You believed me about my dear sister being murdered? Yes, can you come with me? Slowly but surely, Ima nodded in assent. Takomaru, Tsubasa and I took everyone to the storeroom where the escape pod was being kept. We told them how we had found the place and how the pod could only be used on day 100. After climbing back out, we all headed to the cafeteria. So, what was the clue that you found? Before that, I need to check something with Darumi. On day 27, when we found Kaku's body, were you really playing slot at that time? You're still being suspicious of me? Then check the machine's play log. Then you'll know for sure I was playing around that time. And how could I have possibly stepped Shoma if I'd been hiding in that storeroom the whole time? The only way out of that place is through that tunnel, right? I wouldn't have been able to get out of the gym until the coast was clear. Mayhaps you clambered out of the escape pod's elevator shaft? I'm no Spider-Woman, and that shaft has no footholds. It's impossible to climb. The ceiling of the shaft is covered with a thick wall, not something that can be opened by human hands. How about this? You were the one who killed Kako, but not the one who stabbed Shoma? You're suggesting there were 2 culprits. Indeed I am. And does the number 2 ring any bells with regard to the situation? When we found Shoma's body, there were 2 people missing from the scene. You're suspicious of me as well. Ima's face twisted into a grimace. I hesitated for a moment when I saw his expression, but decided to show everyone the handkerchief we had found. This is the clue I was talking about. We found it in the escape pod storeroom. The letters IT have been embroidered on it. Are these initials? Wouldn't that refer to Ima Tsukumo? I thought so. This is your handkerchief, right, Ima? The fact that it was in a storeroom means... So Ima killed Lady Kako? Are you out of your mind? Me? Kill my very own dear sister? I didn't think that was possible either. Unless Ima was the one to stab Shoma and Darumi was the one who killed Kako. Ima dropped the handkerchief in the storeroom when he was casing the joint. I told you it wasn't me. You think Miss Amemiya and I were accomplices? And that I tacitly approved of my dear sister's murder? That's no different from accusing me of killing my own sister myself. You're all crazy. I can't believe that thought even crossed your minds. So you deny the charge? Of course I do. Then explain yourself. Why was your handkerchief in the storeroom? That's because... You see, you are feeling guilty. No. Ima dashed out of the cafeteria screaming. Wait, Ima! We all dashed behind him. Ima grabbed the fire extinguisher in the entrance hall before running outside. We followed him as he ran out of the building. He was running at full speed through the schoolyard and none of us could catch up. Finally, he tore through the wall of fire and ran to the other side. We followed behind. When we got to the city ruins, something unexpected happened. All of a sudden, a large object shaped like an onion appeared out of nowhere and captured Ima, who had been running ahead of us. Ima! The onion object then flew high up in the air with Ima and vanished out of sight. What just happened? And what was that thing? I'd seen that onion-shaped thing before in my previous timeline. That was probably a commander.
And that's how a true lady slaughters her prey.
Ich würde jetzt nicht sagen, dass der wie eine Onion aussieht. Are you serious? Ima's been captured by the enemy. No way. That can't be true. It's alright, we can probably figure out where they went. What? You know how Ima's been rather emotionally unstable lately, right? So much so I thought he might just end up go missing one day, so I secretly planted a transmitter on his body when bringing food to him. We should be able to see where they took him from the war room. You clever girl, you. Okay, let's all head back for now. We traced the transmitter and quickly figured out exactly where Ima had been taken. It was the enemy relay station we had visited in the previous timeline. We immediately started making a plan to get Ima back. After some discussion, we decided to split into 2 teams. The rescue team, me, Hiduko, Takamaru, Tsubasa and Kurara. The defense team, Nozomi, Moko, Kyoshika, Yugamo, Shoma and Darumi. Must we rescue him even though he may very well be the killer? It's not set in stone yet. What if it was all a mistake? Could you ever live with the fact that you abandoned an innocent friend? I knew you would say that, I was just making sure. Having only 5 people in the defense team is not very reassuring. Yeah, can't we add one more or something? No, what if the enemy attacks in the meantime? We can't afford to be lax on home security. In that case, Takumi. Yeah, it's time. Everybody, follow me. Sir Takumi, Lady Eva is out and about now. Why have you done such a thing? Yes, as you can see, I let her out. But why? I intend to let her join the rescue team. Huh? I explained about the bomb in Eva's body and the remote detonator we had made to trigger it. And you really think this will work? If you feel she's acting suspicious, you can press the button to blow her up yourself. Huh? I put the remote detonator into an astonished Hiruko's hand. Now do you feel reassured? Hiruko fell silent at my words. After a few moments she said, "Have it your way. Thank you for having me on the team. I look forward to being useful to you." Alright then, we'll be right back. With Ima. Good luck. Stay safe. The rescue team set off for the enemy relay station, where Ima was being held captive. Ich glaube... Nein, nicht hier. Ich glaube aber... Das war's für heute. Mein Hals bringt mich um. Heute ist irgendwie der Wurm drin. Dann war's das für heute. Ist hier noch was? Ne. Dann war's das für heute. Tschüss.